Winning's hard. Being in the National Football League's hard. All things that are worth achieving are hard. As long as you take the same from losses and wins, that's how to get better and improve. I think that's what winning teams do. Regardless of win or loss, this is a journey throughout the season.
We're here for a reason. Everyone has a job to do.
53 guys pushing in the same direction. That's where power is. That's where an identity comes out of. And that's where you come together as a team.
Let's go out here. Let's take our respect.
Caught for the touchdown! Caught for the touchdown! Turn the corner. He's in for 6. Oh, he's hit from behind. Come there.
Good flipping evening, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to another episode of Late Night. Exhale. I am your host tonight, Culler, from your favorite show, Culler Commentary. Ali is not feeling well tonight, and we got a game tomorrow, so he is taking the night off to rest his head. Probably some CTE or something. I don't know. He was talking about a migraine or something. I don't know. But, we'll let HIPAA take over. He can deal with that. Rest up, Ali. Join us if you feel better. If not, I will see you in the morning. Picking me up nice and early to go to the game. So you guys get yours truly, Color Commentary tonight. I've been totally missing y'all. Been dealing with my own issues when it comes to, pain and all that. So I've kind of missed my shows, but I've got a lot to talk about. I've got a lot to say about this game, and we'll be getting into all of that because I really do not like the things I've been seeing in our fan base. It is just some of the most ridiculous things I've heard, seen, whatever, but we'll talk about all that. In the meantime, thank you so much, everybody. It is currently 9:36 in Southeast Florida. It is 80 degrees and mostly cloudy. The humidity's high. Of course, it's 8:38 over in the Midwest and 6:38 for our friends up and down the West Coast from Washington all the way down to Southern Cal and further. And to our friends out in the middle of nowhere in the Pacific, it's like morning time for y'all. Good morning. And you're already into the next day. You're closer to football than we are. Dang. So appreciate everybody coming tonight. Glad you're here. I see everybody showing up in the chat. Y'all must have been bored or something. Everybody's so down on themselves about this Vikings game, man. Are you kidding me? Man, I got to get into a lot of that. I've been piping it all up. I've got stats to show you all. Try to bring us all up. I ain't going to the game tomorrow to listen to a bunch of poo-pooing. It's not what I paid for. But that being said, me get to a couple shout-outs first. How you doing? We'll hit the first one in chat, which was Scott Jackson. How's it going? Welcome back to the community. I guess probably had to take a little time off. I guess everybody converging on you. But that's okay. We love you here. Mike Catania, how you doing? California. Pete's Takes as always. Everybody go check out Pete's Takes. They are the greatest takes in the world. Carla, how you doing? God Soldier. I know Carla would probably disagree with me on that, but whatever. To each his own or her own. Michael K, everybody's favorite hater, Michael K. Trying to figure out who I'm not even sure the guy likes football, to be honest with you. But Whatever. To each his own. Kenna, how you doing? Lewis, I'll see you tomorrow, I hope, unless anything came up for you and you can't make it. But if not, I'll see you tomorrow. 72 undefeated. B. George. Q, who changed back to his old moniker, just plain Q. The Finn's tail. Oh, that's me. I mean, that's Capitan. How's it going, Capitan? Or HB, if that's HB running it. How you doing? Douglas. Seen you a little earlier on another show, Douglas. How you been? Been a while since I've seen you. Fantasy football junkies. All right. That's what we are. Some of us, anyway. Oh, fantasy football junkies. You and Pete should have a nice little conversation. You know, he's the ambassador of all that is fantasy around these parts. Jaime. Reichart. Liz Meyer. How you doing, Liz? Always good to see you. 88 the Hardaway. Batman's Pops. Bentley. I didn't miss you, Bentley. Dolphin JK. I almost got everybody. Look at this. Jersey Dolphins. And that's about everybody that I see that I haven't seen yet. So we're going to move into telling you all the stuff that hopefully one day will pay the bills. But let me get on the right brand here so I got all the stuff I need. You know how it is. You know there's several ways to support the channel. Cash App, Venmo, $, the Finn's Tailgate, and the Finn's Tailgate, respectively. And, of course, Super Chats, Super Stickers, and memberships. 3 different levels. Shout out to everybody that's become a member. You can identify them by their special emojis in chat, or the color of their name should be green if they're not a moderator. Say hi to them. Welcome them. How's it going, Scar? And mainly join them. Become part of the family. We appreciate it. But at the very least, we appreciate the like and the share. The likes get it on everybody's feed for suggestions, and the sharing gets more people in here for y'all to chat with, besides yelling at me and making fun of me. Takes a little pressure off of me. And so we appreciate all the shares. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. If you're on Twitch, Twitter, or Facebook, head over, give us a subscribe on YouTube. That's kind of where we're trying to grow to start with. And grow we have, thanks to y'all. We appreciate it. If you want to represent even more, you can check out all our gear. Got all kinds of different stuff. Links in the description below. I don't think the Keenies are available yet, but we got to look at them anyway because they're going to be fire. And, of course, a flag. Separate link in the description below that for that, because we got 2 different shops, and you can find all this great stuff there. And, of course, make sure you're checking out Fanatics. You're going to them for all your officially licensed gear. They're the ones. They're the main ones. And make sure you're using the link in the description below so they know that the Finn's Tailgate sent you. Because after all, if we're telling you to go there, isn't it fair that they know we told you? No, but it really helps us out. They love it when we send them people. You know how they are. That's how they make money. And by you using that link, it rises all ships. It floats all dolphins. So we appreciate it. And, of course, they've got everything you need for NBA, NFL, NHL, NCAA, many other sports, all officially licensed and all pretty badass. But make sure you're also checking out Backroom Collections for all your high-end collectible needs. You know, artwork, custom collectibles, stuff you've never seen before. Really great stuff there. And hashtag TFTG and check out for 10% off. And I think that covers everything. Oh, dang. Tonk TMI. Tonk 7 with TMI. We're so close to getting him back. He's got everything wrapped up. If not, you'll see one of us on Tuesday. And if I'm not in ridiculous pain from head to toe, you will catch me on Thursday nights with color commentary. If not, I'll fill in for Ali if I got to. But, of course, tonight, you usually get Ali right around this time on home games. because he's got to get up early in the morning for the tailgate. And if it's not a home game, it'll usually be around 10 o'clock for late night exhale. Letting everybody blow off their steam, get hyped for the game Sunday, maybe run a panel. I'm going to talk about tonight. I'm going to talk about, of course, what we got to do to beat the Vikings, because I'm kind of going to catch up the content of my shows. But in order to emulate Ali, I'm going to talk about that stuff, talk about Tua, Teddy being cleared, give you some stats on why we shouldn't be so down on the game tomorrow, and or Skylar. Tell you why we should never, ever accept defeat. I am not comfortable with 3-3. I will not be comfortable with 3-3. And anybody saying that we should be comfortable with 3-3, that an NFC team opponent doesn't matter, well, we got things to talk about. And I might allow a few of you to come up if you want to talk about it. Maybe do a short panel. I can't be on very long because I do have to be at the meeting point with Ali to go to the game tomorrow as well. So we'll make it a short one if anybody wants to come up and talk about anything I have to say tonight. And we're going to probably leave no offense, Mark, but we're probably going to leave the Bills fans out of it tonight, because I really don't want to argue with a Bills fan about how we're going to beat Minnesota. That's not what I'm trying to do tonight, because we are going to beat Minnesota, and it don't matter who our quarterback is tomorrow, no matter who you believe that should be. And so we'll get into that. I've shouted out a couple late comers to the chat. I noticed Marino's Goat. How you doing? Bleezy, how's it going? Appreciate you guys coming by tonight, everybody. Make sure you're liking and sharing. Can't say it enough. We're real close to 4,300 subs, trying to hit 5,000 before our year anniversary, which I think we will. We're projected about another 20 days, and I think you guys can make that happen in probably about 10 or 15, to be honest with you. That's about how you've been doing this, and we appreciate it. The growth we've seen is just unreal and absolutely appreciated. I got to get this dang thing over to the other side. Sorry, wrong button. That's bothering the heck out of me because it's in the wrong spot. Oh, really? Are you kidding me? All right, then we'll just take it off. How do you like me now? Y'all know where to get me. That's at Culler.com, as I have in this title here on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, man. I don't even have 500 followers on Twitter. All these guys crap on me all the time. Look at you got no followers. And here's this guy making a stupid take like, oh yeah, I'd go to war for Tua, and the dude's got like 5,000 followers. It's like, really? Come on, man. Get me some followers. Tell everybody. Go to @Culler.com and follow me on Twitter. Yell at me there. Don't yell at me here. I can handle it there because I can just turn it off. And shout out to all the German Dolphin fan clubs. I got hit up by one of the German fans over from Stephen D's show, and trying to remember his name, right? Because there's actually two, but appreciate it. Reminded me of my own heritage and how many fans we got over in Germany. Appreciate y'all over there. There's a bunch of fan clubs over there, and we all are happy they're holding down the fort. They got a good stadium over in Frankfurt. Maybe one day I'll get to see my Dolphins play over there. But anyway, so I just wanted to say a couple things, get into some news, and then, talk about the meat and potatoes of one Skylar Thompson in last week's performance and why we should expect pretty decent outcome this week, I think. Because despite what everybody's eye test told them, as always, there's reasons for everything. And I think a lot of us want to pick and choose what we think is the problem and whatever else, when it's clear as plain as day that our issues have never changed. Our offensive line collapsed on us last week. Completely collapsed on us to the last year's levels, probably worse. Receivers dropping the ball everywhere. Now, everybody knows I've made the argument of who those receivers should be, but still everybody's trained to catch the football, and as professionals, they should do it. Lagerhop, that was the other person I wanted to shout out. Notice you in chat, God Soldier. And Jared Dickerson. I do too. Jared says, how you doing, Culler? I smell a big win coming tomorrow. And I've smelt it all year, but it just, man, and it just really feels, I know we have the ability to do it. And that's what I'm going to get into, because I'm seeing a lot of stuff. How you doing, Laura? I'm seeing a lot of things all over the place. And people immediately, when you call them out on it, they start denying it and say, no, I'm all about Skylar. No, you're not. Okay. Everybody, this notion, I mean, you could even see it in the Dolphins hype video if you noticed it. It's just this pounding of, oh, it's okay. It's about how you handle a loss. What do you mean handle a loss? If you're talking about last week and the week before, okay, I understand. But I'm not going to accept this, oh, it's just an NFC opponent, and it's just, and we can only expect this or that or much out of Skylar. Go ahead. It's not going to be so bad to be 3-3. Oh, bullshit. Let me tell you what happens if we're 3-3. Later on in the year, you might say, oh, a loss against Minnesota doesn't affect the tiebreaker or anything like that, right? Which most of the time it doesn't. But how do you expect to get to the tiebreaker point if you're losing to games that your opponent is going to probably beat? I can't imagine the Buffalo Bills at full health losing to the Minnesota Vikings. I can't imagine that. So, how do you expect to get to the point of being in a tiebreaker with Buffalo if you resign yourself to this loss because, it's not Tua? How's it going, Shake? You must have been, Shake, because this is the first time I seen you tonight, buddy. Literally, I'm scrolling back. I don't see you anywhere. That's the first time I seen you. You must be like chatting in somebody else's chat thinking it's mine, because this is the first time I seen you. I'll even highlight you. How you doing, Shake? Yeah, you probably were posting in somebody else's chat or something. There's probably some other chat going, who's this Shake guy? Talking like I'm Culler, and who's this Culler guy? That's great. So, how you doing, John Santos? And Chad Marcioni. If you exaggerate the E in the Italian form, I'm not sure. But Andres Negron, how you doing? What, did a club just let out or something? What's up, G? So anyway, it's this idea that we could resign ourselves to 3-3. Oh, because we're starting a rookie quarterback, and look at the way he played last week. And first of all, we got to talk about why we're even starting him. As you can see by the title, I'm kind of confused myself. Now, I understand the reasons for not starting Tua. I get it. I get all the political reasons. I get the optics. I get the need a little more rest anyway. I get the Skylar's just fine. Might as well rest him one more week. I get all of the arguments. I understand. And I'm not calling for him to play. I just don't understand if, a clear concussion protocol, you tell the world as if it's the greatest news since sliced bread. You could have waited till Monday, because now you're in a situation where it's obvious that, it's like, okay, are we going to treat this game like a preseason game? I hope to God not. because we're going to get our quarterback one back next week? Is this why this seems to be this campaign by the fan base on Twitter? And I would argue in the subliminal messaging of that hype video that it's okay to be 3-3 because we're getting Tua back next week and it's guaranteed win. Is that what's going on here? Because if that's what's going on, I'm not very pleased. And I'm going to scream my bloody ass off tomorrow at the stadium to make sure that don't happen. Our defense got to make tackles. Our defense has, I know, it is a loser mentality. You're absolutely right. It's defeatist. It's like, hey, let's tiptoe our way like into the, like we're ever going to get to the play, like we're ever going to go deep. You know what? That's what playoff teams think. That's what teams that build teams for the playoffs think. As I've always said, you build a team for the Super Bowl and you make it to the playoffs a couple times on the way. You might stumble on the way, but you don't build a team for the playoffs because you're lucky if you ever get there. I mean, I am not okay with 3-3. I've got a couple points to make on that I'll get to in a minute. But I just kind of wanted to get some of my thoughts out there that I've had pin up for the past couple of days, having not done a show, and listen to everybody talk about their expectations for this game tomorrow. I have switched over to my Dolphin Cup because I'm so pissed about it. I'm going full fan mode, people. First of all, I got a couple disclaimers to make. If you're the type of person that doesn't like blind fandom, well, it's Saturday night and the game's tomorrow. That's what this show is all about. I'm trying to emulate Ali as much as I can, so I'm trying to talk a little more chill, be a little more relaxed. You don't ever get to see relaxed Culler. I'm going to say some really incendiary things tonight, but it's going to be relaxed, right? Exhale, because I got to save a lot of energy for tomorrow because I'm probably going to be the only one yelling in the stadium, I guess. Oh, what's your favorite part of going to the game tomorrow? Oh, the tailgate. What? What's up, Molly Mall? How you doing? Philip Lappe? So, what's up, Crypto? Crypto is in my neck of the woods tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Crypto will be at the game tomorrow in Miami Gardens. So he is currently in the 305. He was hanging out over at Bo Campers earlier, I believe. So I don't know if he made it back to the hotel yet or not, but Crypto is real excited to be down here. So shout out to Crypto. Say hi, everybody. Tell him to make sure he wears his sunscreen tomorrow because it's going to be hot. Current forecast for tomorrow. Before I get to that, I want to post our fearless leaders comment. The Finns tailgate officially says this team wants to be a contender. Then they need to win this game, not in spite of Skylar. Not in spite of Skylar. And in some ways, not for Tua. For us fans, team's legitimacy, and to live up to the billing of our guru coach. I couldn't agree more. Ali and I have said it all offseason. This system it makes the quarterback irrelevant as long as you're serviceable. And I would argue our quarterback, all three of them are well serviceable. So what I'm upset about, and the reason I asked the question in the title, or I put it in a question, Why are we not starting Tua tomorrow? I mean, Capitan makes an interesting point about starting Skylar, and then, at the slightest sign of crappiness, go ahead and put our main guy back in, let him come in, rock out, and win us the game. I get that too. But in general, even before you get there, why are we not starting him tomorrow? Put a couple answers in chat. Give me your guys' ideas. And I don't want to hear because of optics, okay? Because I understand if you're going to give that answer, then there's no proof of that anyway, so there's no reason to entertain that. And I'm not trying to be unfair to you. I just don't see, if you think that there's a conspiracy going on for optics, then that's a very short conversation. So I'm probably not going to take those answers right now. But go ahead and put it in the chat, everybody, while I get on to the news. I'm just putting the question out there. Why are we not starting Tua tomorrow? In the meantime, thank you very much, Pete, for the $10 donation. Otto Graham has the most passing yards by a quarterback in his first game with 346 yards against the Eagles on September 16th, 1950. Oh, that's interesting. I would have thought it'd been more than that for a first game. That's interesting. But thank you again, Pete, for the kind donation. All right, let's see here. We got one for optics and politics. That's it. I'm sorry. I get it. I understand. I'm not trying to ignore that as an answer. I just, it's a very short conversation after that because I can't say I disagree necessarily on that. If I see full week of practice or not, I would imagine that means not having a full week of practice. That was one thought I had. Well, Robert Trainer said he's not dressing tomorrow, so that I guess the backup scenario is out of the question. But so thanks for that, Robert. If you've been able to confirm that. Let's see. It's an opportunity for Greer Mike to see what we have in Skylar. That's a good one. I like that because that actually seems positive. Like they might actually. It might not, you know what I mean. That's not a bad thing, Clemente. I kind of like that. By the way, how you doing tonight? Let's see. Because Tua didn't have a full week to prepare. Because if he takes another hit, he'll be a vegetable. Well, yeah, I get it. Maybe extra. What you're saying there is extra rest. Okay. Hasn't been on the football field in 2 weeks. Because Tehran's not playing. That's a good one from Harriet. Very, not as much pressure, not as much protection. How you doing, Von Joe? Appreciate you coming by. Cliff D. Yeah, the question does extend to Teddy. I am from Brooklyn. Yeah, it does extend to Teddy too, but that's kind of like almost the same thing here. So we'll include Teddy in that, sure. Best to rest Tua longer, sure. A lot of these are really good points, and a lot of these are exact good reasons why you would not play him. My contention is, when are we going to do that? Because practice ain't going to knock the rust off. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to knock the rust off. And so if we're given the mood of the fan base as pertains to this Vikings game, this is where it comes roundabout to the Vikings and why I'm so upset that people are just resigning themselves to a loss. Is because if we're going to do that with the Vikings, because we're starting a rookie and all that, then why not use that game to knock the rust off, give yourself the best chance to win? Because a lot of people would argue even Tua, even rusty Tua, would be a better option than Skylar. So if we end up dropping a game because of a rookie, how would we feel any different on Monday morning if we dropped a game because of Tua's rust? Now ask yourself this. We drop a game because of a rookie, and then next week we drop another game because of Tua's rust. Now we're 3-4. How do you feel about being 3-4? Now, a lot of you might say, Culler, what are you talking about? Tua's guaranteed win. Sorry. This is the NFL. And all that has to happen is Pittsburgh winning tomorrow and becoming 2-4 for them to get a spark enough to want to play us. That's all it'll take. I might take Rusty Tua to beat the Vikings, but I don't know if I'd take Rusty Tua to beat the Steelers in primetime. Besides the fact, if the rust does even affect the game, wouldn't you rather just have it be one? We're going to be affected possibly by a rookie quarterback, which this argument does extend to Teddy as well, if you think that Teddy gives you a better chance than Skylar to win. And that's just my thought on it. I'm kind of confused. However, it doesn't bother me because I think Skylar is a fantastic quarterback. And I think that not only can this offense run with an average quarterback, but I think Skylar has the potential to be great and is already a little above good, in my opinion. And a little above good with this offense, given a real game plan, a real support by the front office to win this game tomorrow, and obviously real support by the teammates, which I think he would always have anyway. Our defense stepping up, our offensive line getting back on track, which I'll get to in a minute. We've elevated 2 offensive linemen. Teron Armstead's toe is still in question. They did not decide to take Austin Jackson off injured reserve. So, and I agree, Liz, but if that's still going to be his first game speed experience in 3 weeks. I'd feel better. I'd feel more confident. I guess put it this way. I'd feel more confident in Tua beating the snot out of the Steelers if he got in this week rather than his first action being against those Steelers. I don't think it, I mean, we all joke around about the Flores thing. And you got to realize whether you like Flores or whether you hate him or whether you're somewhere in between, all 3 of those types of people can agree on one thing. Flores knows how to beat Tua. Now, whether his guys have the ability to implement that, it's still a ball game. You still play the game. I'm not saying it's a given. I'm just saying, why would I just don't understand. That whole organization has always been known for playing tough defense. If it's one thing I can tell you, if they end up going 1-16, guarantee that they're going to knock the snot out of a lot of people on the way with their defense. That's just Pittsburgh. Well, yeah, Q. But beating a team is going through their quarterback. So, yeah. It's a duality, Q. Knowing how to beat Miami is by knowing how to beat Tua. Now, whether a team can or not, all I'm saying is it's going to be a tough one. It's not like Tua is going to be cakewalking out there, even if he does beat the snot out of the Steelers. But alas, as I told Pete on Twitter, we can agree that should be the case, that my position is highly logical for the betterment of Tua. But at the same time, we have to accept the fact that nothing's going to change with the decision tomorrow. Unless they drop out of left field that Teddy's starting. Skylar Thompson will be QB1 tomorrow. And I'm actually excited about it. And I'm not excited because I want him to do better than Tua and all that. Whatever. I want my quarterback to play the best he can possibly. I want my quarterback to be the best quarterback in the league tomorrow. I don't care what his name is. And if you don't want that, and I mean, if you truly want it, you have to, don't just say you want that too, just so people ain't picking on you. If you truly don't want that, then you got to question yourself as to where your loyalties really lie. Because the fact of it is, and this is the point we were actually trying to make to Pete, Skylar could go out tomorrow and put up a 60 burger, and Tua will still be starting against the Steelers. That's just the fact. I may not like it. Skylar may not like it. The team may not even like it. But that's the fact. And that doesn't mean it's a wrong thing, because if Tua wins, he wins. It was his spot first. There is a pecking order. There is first come, first serve when you're winning. As long as you're winning and able to be on the field. Which is why, come hell or high water, I think Tua is going to be playing against Pittsburgh. But I don't think Pete's wrong and this is where Pete's not wrong. And I know y'all are going to be like, oh, Culler, you're white knighting for Pete. Pete don't need me to white knight for him. There's plenty I disagree with Pete on. Trust me. I just don't make it a point I don't make it my life to verbalize it. No offense, Pete. But let's just say if look, I don't know when the last time the Dolphins ever put up 60 points. But I'm trying to be exaggerative because I'm trying to make a point. So don't go out there and be like, Culler said we can put up a 60 burger. That's not what I'm saying. I just think that's the exaggerative state you would have to get to even dare the question of whether Tua should get his job back. But let's say, since we do live in a quantum universe, let's just say it does happen. Skylar goes out tomorrow and puts up 63 points. Or he's responsible for 50-something and our defense gets a score. Okay, fine, whatever. In the history of the NFL, save for 1972 in the playoffs, maybe. I did forget about that one. But I don't know if Earl Morrow's performance was that much better than Greasy. So I'll have to look back on that. But putting that aside, in the history of the NFL, you go with the hot hand. I mean, I understand like people's love for Tua, and I understand that Tua is still going to be just fine a quarterback. But in the history of the NFL, you go with the hot hand. Alex Smith lost his job because of a hot hand to a guy that is no longer playing in the NFL. Now, granted, neither is Alex Smith, but that's for a different reason, and everybody knows it. But in the history of the NFL, you go with the hot hand. And so it would be logical for Pete to assume that if Skylar put up a 60 burger tomorrow, that Tua's job would be in question, at least in the short term, until that hand goes cold. And I don't think anybody thought Alex Smith couldn't continue or couldn't get the 49ers to the promised land eventually. But Jim Harbaugh was like, yo, this guy, nobody can stop this guy. I have to play him. And as such, Alex Smith never got his job back in San Francisco. So it is unfair for us to really, dare I say, crap on people like Pete who have that opinion. It's totally unfair to think that they're being crazy or that they hate the football team. If anything, they just have a different viewpoint of what makes their team better. The love for their football team is just as strong as anybody else's. Save for the people that just hate Tua because they hate the man, okay? There are people out there like that. There are people that hate me. Like, I get it. But if you start to think that that's actually the norm, you probably should stay off Twitter, because that means Twitter's algorithm is feeding you people that hate on purpose. And they are doing it to us. Make no mistake. Hey, I look at it all day too. I'm the victim too. I'm not trying to say anybody's dumb for being fooled by that, but I'm just saying. All I see on my Twitter feed is people slobbing onto his knob. Because the algorithm knows that I'm not like a huge fan of the guy and his historical play. So the algorithm says, oh, this guy Culler, he's a Tua hater. So, what does it do? It feeds me a bunch of people that love Tua. Whereas if you really, really love Tua, what do you think Twitter's going to be showing you all day? People come around and they're like, all I see is hate all day. And I just don't see it. I mean, I see the occasional, okay, you're being a little unreasonable. But I don't see hate. It's because the algorithm knows that that's not what will fire me up and make me respond. The algorithm knows that we are more likely to respond to something that bothers us rather than something we agree with. The algorithm is actually reading us and learning from us and our patterns. So it's not the algorithm's fault. It's a problem with us and what we decide to respond to. And it just is what it is. So I want to get off that though, because that's old stuff. And I think it's all water under the bridge anyway. But I noticed somebody off topic had pointed out that I want to make sure the game was right. Where'd it go? The baseball game that's going on is like in the 18th inning. That's crazy. Good old fashioned playoff baseball. That is crazy. So we're going to start with a little bit of news, and then we're going to start to get into why I think the Vikings are way, not way, but way overrated at 4-1. I know, I think it was their famous coach that said you are what your record says you are, but I don't know if they are what their record says they are. I really don't. And we'll get into that here in a second. But of course, the news of the day. Tua and Teddy both cleared from concussion protocol. Alan Poupart reported for SI, or writes this article for Fan Nation, all Dolphins over at SI. Quarterbacks Tua Tagovailoa and Teddy Bridgewater officially are back and again available for the Miami Dolphins. Both players are out of concussion protocol after being cleared Saturday morning. All indications are that neither will play against the Vikings in Week 6, though Bridgewater is expected to be active and backing up rookie 7th-round pick Skylar Thompson in his first NFL start. Which, by the way, creates a scenario that Capitan wanted from the beginning. And that was, you start Skylar and you have the veteran, that 8-year veteran that supposedly doesn't need any game plan because he's a veteran, and you know, as a backup. And real quick, by the way, I almost forgot. I'm terrible tonight. I totally got all on a tangent and forgot to thank Tryhard for his super chat. Thank you, Tryhard, for the $2 donation. If you didn't already leave the room on me because I didn't shout you out. Ross and Tua returning in the same night. Yeah, that's pretty interesting storyline there. That's why a lot of people believe it's all about storylines and stuff like that. Totally scripted, you know. But anyway, Capitan has said, hey, it's better off you do that, because who's more likely to shine in a situation where you didn't have a lot of reps during the week and you didn't have necessarily a game plan? The veteran. So, you know, I'm kind of with that now too. It's like, yeah, keep going with Skylar, and I'll tell you why in a bit, why I'm perfectly comfortable with that. Even though I do believe in Teddy, I think a lot of that's been going on too, is a lot of people are getting in their feels about Teddy. A lot of people think Teddy should start tomorrow, and it's a fair point. I've seen it already a couple times in chat tonight. A couple people saying that Teddy should be the starter. And that's a fair point. And given the worst happens on Monday morning, we may be questioning that decision. And you know, I invite anybody to do that. But I just have I have a certain belief in Skylar that's not shakeable. And as a man of no faith, you know, when I believe in something, it's because it's backed up by something. Same with what I believe in Tua now. Do I believe Tua is whatever? No. Do I believe he's this now? Yes. Did I believe he was what he's now before? No, because he hadn't shown it. So that my beliefs evolve. It doesn't mean I can't attain beliefs. I just don't have them as a matter of default. No, I don't believe Skylar Thompson is Dan Marino. I don't believe Skylar Thompson is an elite quarterback. I also don't believe he's not, because we just don't know. But there are things we can look at and garner from and say, okay, given what our team is, given the fact that it wasn't game planned for last week, given the fact that you're talking about a rookie jumped in when fault of the coach or not, the third string quarterback was not prepared for it. They were not prepared for Teddy Bridgewater getting taken out that early in the game. Let's face it. They had about a quarter to a half of Skylar Thompson's game plan. Okay. Let's be honest there. And look, even if you have to force yourself to be honest with there, even if you have to force yourself to believe that, guess what happens if you do? You believe we can win tomorrow. Hallelujah. You're there. Welcome back to the fan base. Anyway, I'll continue. Alan goes on to write, and it means that Tua will be back in the starting lineup for the Sunday night game against the Steelers on October 23rd, on the night when the Dolphins' 72 perfect team is honored and former Miami head coach Brian Flores returns to Hard Rock Stadium in his new role as Steelers' senior defensive assistant and linebackers coach. The news Saturday morning, reported by national media outlets first and confirmed by a league source, comes after both Tua and Bridgewater were able to practice fully Friday after first starting off on a limited basis. Tua flew to Detroit and Pittsburgh to meet with specialists ahead of his return to practice, according to NFL Network reporter Tom Pelissero, going above and beyond the requirements of the concussion protocol, which answers the question as, does he need that extra rest? Well, that's really up to him and his doctors at this point. Plenty of doctors out there would say yes. No, more rest doesn't hurt. Okay, I get that. But, I mean, if he's ready, he's ready. You know what I mean? I just knock the rust off this week against Minnesota if everybody's resigned themselves to a loss. Maybe he pulls one out, you know. And the Vikings are so bad compared to other teams that we've beat that I don't understand why, even if we had rusty Tua should be able to beat the Vikings. So there again, so should a third string quarterback. I'm not buying this. We're going to lose tomorrow just for the sake of, whatever. We get our win. We go 4-2. And if the wheels fall off next Sunday night, we can hang our hats on the fact that we lost to a good organization like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Vikings. Come on, people. Anyway, I'm not going to get all upset about it. It's exhale night. Woosah. So, it's pretty clear that Tua suffered no setbacks in his recovery from the scary-looking injury he sustained in the Week 4 Thursday night game against the Cincinnati Bengals, and he will have missed 2 starts when he returns to the lineup. While there was some uncertainty regarding Tua's condition based on the optics of the Cincy game, the situation was different with Bridgewater, and his quick return and departure from the concussion protocol wasn't surprising. For those who might have missed it, Bridgewater became the victim of the new concussion rules when a spotter determined he saw signs of ataxia after the quarterback was hit by Jets rookie Sauce Gardner on the Dolphins' first offensive snap. End article. So there you go. Tua's ready to play, but not playing. Skylar's got the start. It is what it is. And it is actually decent. It's not a bad thing. It really isn't. To those out there that want Skylar to learn and blah, 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 a great learning experience. Maybe he'll surprise these people that want him to learn and show them that he's already kind of there and a solid backup going on our run. God forbid if Tua has to go out for a half and we lose a game because of it. That kind of thing happens, whether you're injury prone or not. Sometimes you dislocate a pinky and you got to go into the locker room for the half. It happens. I mean, not that big. It doesn't mean he's injury prone per se and all that, but those types of injuries do happen to everybody at any time. It'd be a shame if that happened to us and, well, no, Skylar. No. Trust me. And I think it was evident against the Eagles in preseason. Skylar is no Reed Sinnett. Skylar is far better a quarterback than Reed Sinnett, in my opinion. No offense to our current 4th-string quarterback. I love you, Reed. And you know what? Last year, you were performing better than Tua. Plenty of people were calling for Reed Sinnett. That's why there's this residual trust in him and people actually saying he's better, that he might be a better option than Skylar. No. Sorry. I ain't buying that. So one other article from Alain before I go into why Skylar has a great opportunity to beat the Vikings tomorrow. Pete says, Culler, if Tua never got hurt, let's say we are 9-7, 1 game left. Tua gets a concussion last game and falls out the way he did, and we miss the playoffs. Do we keep? I don't know, Pete. I mean, obviously, you know what the answer to, you know what the prevailing answer to that question is. I mean, even a lot of people that support him would say, okay, there's a threshold at which you're done with the support, but I don't like the, I'm not gonna. Those issues are not going to like arise, if ever, in the near future. So, it is what it is. Gary Casson, welcome to the chat, says healthy or not, Tua about to stomp the Steelers defense. Right. So healthy or not, he should be able to do it against the Vikings this week. That's kind of my point. Then he won't be rusty at all against the Steelers. So the Saturday moves, breaking down the Saturday moves, also from Mr. Poopart. Shout out to Alain over at Fan Nation. All Dolphins, all the time at SI.com. The Miami Dolphins made their customary practice squad elevation Saturday, but there was something different on this occasion. And the Dolphins also didn't make one move they could. And the Dolphins also didn't make one move they could have made. Didn't make one move they could have made. That of activating tackle Austin Jackson from injured reserve after he practiced this week. The Dolphins did elevate 2 players from the squad, as they have 3 previous times this season, but for the first time, it was 2 players at one position, with tackles Brandon Shell and Keon Smith both getting the call for the game against the Minnesota Vikings at Hard Rock Stadium. And there are clear implications there, and they involve veteran Teron Armstead, who continues to deal with a toe injury. Armstead hasn't practiced since the week of the season opener, and the Dolphins have elevated 1 tackle every game since week 1 to give them 8 offensive linemen in uniform. But Armstead is coming off a game he couldn't finish after he aggravated his toe injury and is listed as questionable for the game against the Vikings. And having both Smith and Shell up certainly would seem to suggest the Dolphins aren't sure Armstead is going to be able to go against Minnesota. Shell, the veteran who was signed a few weeks ago, took over for Armstead at left tackle against the Jets Sunday after the prize free agent acquisition left the game in the first quarter and would figure to get the call to start if Armstead ends up being inactive. Oh, hallelujah. As for Jackson, head coach Mike McDaniel seems to hint Friday that Jackson wasn't quite ready to return from the ankle injury that landed him on IR before the Week 2 game at Baltimore. The Dolphins have 2 more weeks of practice with Jackson before they have to make a decision. And it's certainly fair to be optimistic he'll be back in the lineup in time for the Sunday night game against the Steelers, along with Tua. And after Tua got out of the concussion protocol Saturday. And he goes on to list all the elevations we've made this season. Go on to finish reading all that over at si.com. Fan Nation, all Dolphins. Thank you much, Alan Poupard. Always enjoy sharing your articles with my audience. And I hope they do too. So we're going to get into it. We're at the hour mark. Everybody like and share. Make sure you're hitting up Backroom Collections for all your high-end collectible needs, artwork, custom collectibles, great stuff. Hashtag TFTG at checkout for 10% off. Making sure you're checking out Fanatics. Use the link in the description below because it lets them know we sent you. And it helps out the channel to do that. And we really appreciate it. There are several ways to support the channel besides liking and sharing and subscribing. Cash App, $ the Fins Tailgate, and Venmo the Fins Tailgate, as well as Super Chat, Super Stickers. And as you saw on the scrolling banner earlier, members, shout out to all of our members who've decided to join the family. We appreciate every one of you. Make sure you're hitting up the links for our gear in the description below. You can find all kinds of great stuff there, including all of this stuff and a flag. Show it to everybody. Put it on your truck. Put it in your window. That way you know your tailgate is always an extension of the Fins Tailgate Network. Make it real. Take the virtual to the real. Appreciate every one of you. Make sure you're catching us on Tuesday nights. We will be getting Tonk back for TMI. Currently, it'll be one of us at around 9:30, 10 o'clock, as well as myself on Thursday nights for late night commentary after the game or in the afternoon before the game. Just depends. The games have been really bad lately. I'll be honest. That game put me to sleep last Thursday night, and I missed my show. It is what it is. Here I am, covering for Ollie, who's supposed to be here tonight, but dealing with some, needing some rest. He's got some, just say he needs some rest. Got some headaches. But you can always catch him here on Saturday nights, 9:30 or 10 o'clock, depending on whether it's home or away, because he does have to get up early to go to the games when they're down in Miami. And as such, the show usually starts a little earlier, around 9 or 9:30. Other than that, it's hype all night into the wee hours of the morning, starting at 10 o'clock on Saturday nights. As well as myself in the early morning. I had to cover for Ollie tonight, so I figured I'd forego coffee and a cup of Culler today to bring you content for this show tonight. I couldn't do both. It's the same stuff anyway. Half the time. Except we probably won't be doing DFS lineups tonight unless you want to. But that being said, every other night of the week, I forgot to mention it earlier, El Capitan with regular TFTG. Every night that you're not seeing my mug or Ali's mug, it's going to be El Capitan, who just started a new job, so he has been kind of taxed lately, trying to, juggle new content for the show as well as his nightly shows. So we will be filling in for him here and there whenever we need to. Rest assured of that. And of course, I think that just about covers all the rundown stuff. Can't think of anything else except for, oh yeah, that's right. Make sure that you're always telling everybody about
Fins Tailgate
as much as you can. Appreciate the shout out. If you're on Twitter, Twitch, or Facebook, head over, give us a subscribe. Head back to your favorite platform. We appreciate it. We're trying to grow the network on YouTube. And like I said earlier, we have grown quite a bit thanks to you all. We've got 81 people watching right now and like 67 likes. So there's a whole bunch of people that don't like to use their right hand blinker. It's about just as easy to do. Looks like this. Just kidding. But, okay, so Skylar, everybody, let me just point out something first of all about our opponent. Our opponent is 4-1. And they've beat the Green Bay Packers, the reeling Green Bay Packers. They lost to the Eagles, the best, arguably, the only undefeated team. They let the Detroit Lions hang in and almost lost to them. They let the Saints hang in and almost lost to them. Saints aren't that bad, but let's face it, they're a shade of their former self. And they let the Chicago Bears hang in and barely beat them, 29-22. Now, it does look like they're in a lot of close games and they know how to win them. But let me remind you all, we beat 3 playoff teams in a row from last year. Or I don't know if the Ravens made it or not, but they're playoff caliber. Arguably, 3 of the top teams in the AFC. People could say what they want about the Patriots, I guess. But they're out there shutting people out with their rookie quarterback. And the only 2 losses we have are against the Super Bowl runner-ups on a Thursday night with a short turnaround after defeating our AFC East rival, Buffalo Bills, one of the best teams in football. We lost to the Super Bowl runner-up after losing our quarterback. We were in the game. It's not like we weren't in it. We couldn't win it. And then we lost to our division rival that gets up for us every time they play us in their house with an unprepared, ungame planned for rookie quarterback, 7th round draft pick. After our backup quarterback goes out in the very first play of the ball game. And we were in that one too. I don't think our offensive line and or defense could have played any worse game this season so far. Yet we were still in that game. And we're worried about a team that's 4-1 who has 3 wins against mediocre to lower than average football teams. The only real team they've played, they got beat. And they're rocking in yardage, the 9th ranked quarterback. In completion percentage, the 11th ranked quarterback. In touchdowns, Kirk Cousins is ranked 14th with 7 touchdowns. Tua, who hasn't even played in 2 games, is ranked 9th with 8 touchdowns. And you guys are worried about Kirk Cousins coming into Miami against our defense in 90-degree weather. And I'm hearing we should accept 3-3. Are you kidding me? No, never. Never. Kirk Cousins is ranked 15th in touchdown percentage. That means percentage of touchdowns thrown when attempting to pass. Kirk Cousins is 15th with 3.5%. That means 3.5% of the time he throws the football, it's a touchdown. Tua is ranked 4th, tied with Josh Allen with 7%. Now, obviously, Skylar's sample size is way too small to show a percentage on this list. And they only go to 32 on that. Tua has 3 interceptions on the season. That is 21st, which means he's 21st. So that would be minus 32, 11th best. Kirk Cousins is 9th. Wait, I'm sorry. Kirk Cousins is 4th with 5 interceptions on the season. Now they both, him and Tua both rank right around the same, 11th and 12th at 2.6 and 2.5% respectively for interception percentage. Tua is still leading the league at number 1 in yards per attempt. Yards gained per pass attempt at 9 even. Josh Allen is at 8.3. Kirk Cousins is ranked 24th in the league at 6.7 yards per pass attempt gained. Yards gained per pass completion. Tua is ranked 4th at 12.9. So that includes Yak. Kirk Cousins is ranked 25th with 10.1. Tua's passer rating is 109.9. That's ranked 3rd, above Josh Allen at 107.4. Kirk Cousins is ranked 17th, 86.4. Tryhard says, thank you for the $2 donation, Tryhard. If I see Cousins hit the gritty tomorrow, Boyer's out. No, I don't disagree. I'm laying it right on the line for everybody right now, Tryhard. There is no reason we should fear this quarterback whatsoever, given the quarterbacks that we've already played this season and beat. Absolutely no reason whatsoever. Lamar Jackson is ranked 6th, holding a 97.9 passer rating. Josh Allen, again, is 4th with a 107.4. We beat both of those guys. Jared Goff, Cooper Rush, Ryan Tannehill all have a better passer rating than Kirk Cousins. Cousins has been sacked 8 times. Tua has been sacked 6. That's roughly the same. Let's get into some of these advanced stats here real quick. And I'm comparing them to Tua. Obviously, that's not our quarterback tomorrow. Culler, why are you comparing him to Tua? Tua's not even playing tomorrow. Just for the initial perspective. To compare him to what our offense would be with proper quarterback play like Tua. Because I do believe Skylar could at least provide, maybe not that, being a rookie, like just below that. And obviously has all this potential in the world. The point I'm making is that I believe Skylar Thompson is better than Kirk Cousins, not better than Tua. I'm trying to point out where Kirk Cousins is at and juxtaposing it to where Tua is at for 2 reasons. 1, because I got to pick somebody. And 2, to also re-illustrate to people why Tua has actually been getting the job done. Because lo and behold, when I went to go randomly pick a top 5 quarterback to compare Kirk Cousins to, Tua's name was there the whole time. So in just about every place. So I'm like, okay, I'll just use Tua. Why not? He's my quarterback. Intended air yards per pass attempt. Tua is ranked 11th at 8.2. Josh Allen 12th at 7.9. Kirk Cousins is ranked 30th, 6.1 intended yards per attempt, air yards per attempt. Who's dinking and dunking? Who's dinking and dunking? Completed air yards. Now, obviously, Kirk Cousins is gonna exceed Tua in completed air yards. He's played 2 more ball games than Tua has. So this isn't a fair comparison. However, it's still illustrative because Tua is still ranked 15th, having not played 2 games. Tua is still ranked 15th with 609 air yards. Kirk Cousins is ranked 8th with 693. So in 2 extra games, he could only amass another 80-some air yards. And we're afraid of this guy? What did those other inferior teams do to stop Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen and Dalvin Cook? That's what Boyer needs to be doing. Whatever those teams were doing. Because our offense is far superior to any of those teams, even with Skylar. Yak. Actually, Tua is not getting a lot of yak. Again, 2 less games, but he's down to 25th now. Kirk Cousins is ranked 12th with 634. Yak per completion. 2 is 15th. Kirk Cousins is 22nd. 2 is numbers 5.3. Kirk is 4.8. Let's go to, I don't know if I want to save pressure because pressure is going to include Skylar. It's going to allow me to segue to Skylar. And, well, both will. So let's do accuracy first and then pressure. Or maybe I'll do pressure. I'll do pressure first. Number of pressures, according to Pro Football Reference, pressures are hurries, hits, and the number of times sacked added together. So all three of those added together in total is considered a pressure. Kirk Cousins has been pressured 51 times, but only for a 24% rate. Tua has been pressured 32 times for a 26.4 rate. And Skylar Thompson last week, in one game, was pressured 17 times at 48.6% clip. That means every other time Skylar dropped back last week, he was pressured. Yet come the fourth quarter, we still had a chance to win. That's a fact. 17 times. Tua has been pressured 32 times in 3 games. That's not to take away from Tua because his pressure rate is actually up from last year. He's being pressured more than he was last year. So Tua is actually doing more under more pressure. So credit to him. But my point is, how does anybody think that Skylar didn't perform well last week under that type of pressure as a rookie 7th round draft pick? Seeing his first action in an NFL game. Quarterbacks don't create their own pressure. At least if they do, it's not measured in this metric. His average pocket time was 2.4 seconds. Tua's is 2.3. So I think we can get to Kirk Cousins. And I think that the pressure percentage that Skylar was under last week is a huge indicator of why we saw what we saw towards the end. Our offensive line just did not do its job for this young kid. And our defense towards the end could not get back off the field. Which happens. I mean, they kept us in the game. I'm not trying to dog the defense, but fair is fair. It's a 60-minute ball game, And even when we were down 2 scores, we still, stranger things have happened. You don't just shut down. But putting that aside, I'm encouraged when I see a number like that because we still had a chance to win. This kid went out there and played his heart out with hardly any game plan, hardly any support at the offensive line, hardly any protection, and did what he did and kept us in the game, gave us a chance to win. So it's really hard for me to, accept this notion of, oh, well, we should just accept 3-3 because the third, look at Skylar. These people that have spent all week nitpicking a third string 7th round quarterback that was pressured one out of every time out of every other time he dropped back last week. Yet fail to remind you that we were still in the game. He wasn't playing out of his shoes. He wasn't like ahead of his skis is what I meant to say. He was poised. He was comfortable. Yeah, I'm sure he was nervous. I'm sure that showed in some of his throws. But he got the ball where it needed to go. Which, will move me on to the accuracy tab. 4 drop passes last week. 2 throwaways. I guess they consider 2 of them throwaways. But he also had 1 batted ball, which led to an interception, his only interception. Drop percentage was 12.9%. See, it might have only been 4 drops. But given his number of pass attempts, that still factors to a 12.9% drop percentage. Tua's is 5.3, which is obviously a larger sample size. Kirk Cousins being 5.4. The only other larger one is Jimmy Garoppolo, or the only one that registers on the list, because it's a percentage. And it's a small sample size, so they don't put Skylar on it. But when I filter for another one, it still shows his percentage is 12.9 last week. However, his on-target percentage, I'm going to get to that in a minute. Because currently, leading the league in on-target percentage, and if you're not familiar with what on-target percentage is on most stat sites, on-target percentage, according to the, for the NFL is that's completion percentage per pass attempt, excluding spikes and throwaways. So if you take away all the throwaways and all the spikes, this is the person's completion percentage. Leading the league at 82.4% is none other than Geno Smith. That may be an aberration. So we'll put that aside and say that our boy is actually leading at 81.4%. And second is Tua. Tom Brady is third with 81.2%. Kirk Cousins is fifth at 79.5%. So he obviously does get the ball where it needs to go, albeit for only 6-point-something yards. Hold on, I got to sneeze. Sorry. All right. So, excuse me. So that's all fine and dandy. He's up there too. But Skylar Thompson, remember that number for Kirk Cousins, 79.5. Skylar Thompson's on-target percentage last week, because obviously it's only a 1-game sample size, so we can only say last week was 80.6. $80.6. With all the hurries that Kirk Cousins has, he was only blitzed 41 times. That's 19th in the league. So he's the one holding on to the ball too long. And when he does get rid of the ball, it's obviously for only 6-point-something yards in the air. That's some dinking and dunking. We do have the potential. See, when I point out all this stuff and I look at all this stuff, people wonder why I say we always have this potential, and we have the potential to really destroy this team tomorrow, even with our third string quarterback. And people think I'm crazy. You know, we matched the performances we saw against the Ravens in the second half, against the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we got ran all over. Well, sure, we got torched, but they hardly scored. And everybody thinks that the Vikings are going to be better off than the Buffalo Bills in the heat of Miami. Let me get to that. Forgot to tell you all earlier. First, I'm going to post the link because I've said enough that maybe people want to answer to. We'll start a little panel and then we'll shut it down pretty shortly because it's getting to the wee hours now. And I got to meet Ali at the meeting spot at 7:15. So, yeah. How you doing, Pete? I'm glad you came up tonight, man. Real quick, before you start cooking, I want to pull up.
Hold on. Before I forget this, Culler, I'm sorry.
Sure. Go ahead while I'm doing that.
This is what I was gonna tell you. Andy Dalton in the Saints game versus the Vikings this year, he went 20 for 26, 240 yards basically, and he could have had more than one touchdown pass, but he only had one, and he looked efficient and effective, moving the ball with a beat-up Saints team.
Right.
Versus the Minnesota Vikings. Then you have Justin Fields, who is throwing touchdown passes to guys like Dante Pettis, missing wide open Mooney all over the field, inaccurate. I got a feeling like.
See, I want to point out something. All week I've been monitoring the forecast for tomorrow. And one of the things you'll notice in Florida when you look at the 10-day forecast that far out is that by the time that gets to be the 3-day forecast and even the next day forecast, it always ends up being a little earlier than they said it was going to be. And I've been monitoring this all week. And earlier today, it hadn't changed much. The forecast most of the week had been 86 degrees, right around 20 or 30% chance of rain, and isolated showers. So I thought, that's hot enough. Now, Monday and Tuesday, they're calling for, this front to finish passing through and this rain and us to get right back up close to the 90s again. However, I thought, what if that comes a little early? And so I just looked at the forecast now, currently at 11:06 p.m. Eastern time. And now tomorrow's forecast is showing isolated shower, 88 degrees, and a 40% chance of rain. It is going to be hot down there. It is going to be muggy, and it is going to be just as bad as it was against Buffalo.
What's up, Culler?
What's up, Todd? How you doing?
Man, the only thing that worries me about the game, is teams have been killing us with the short passes.
Yeah. Before we go real quick, Culler, hey, I agree with you. And that exact same, the exact same fucking, pretty much the exact same forecast for that Bills game. And it was fucking brutal, y'all said. So,
yep,
I'm on it.
And it wasn't even as brutal as it was for the Patriots.
Yeah, you guys said that it wasn't as bad as Patriots, but you guys said it was still fucking bad.
That day was hot. I can't lie. That was. I mean, I was there for Patriots, but
Minnesota's coming from 52-degree weather.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Culler, on that. But like I was saying, Dalvin Cook out the backfield is what scares me.
You know what the best thing is? I don't think the
weather
affects
Baker
Skylar
for
that
supposedly.
much.
But that's what we paid Baker for supposedly.
You heard what you said at the end of that, right? Supposedly.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
Because if you look at what running backs,
if we get up early, out in front early, and up early, Dalvin Cook can run to his heart's content, and all they're going to do is run their chance to win, to come back.
No. Hey,
agreed.
Hey, Culler. It's not him running out the backfield. I'm talking about him as a receiver.
Yeah, whatever.
Look how Singletary.
I can't wait.
Yeah, look how Singletary lost.
These guys want to talk Jerome Baker.
Say it again, Irving. What was that?
Go ahead, Irving.
Oh, my bad. That's DTA. I'm sorry. Oh. Damn, you guys sound. Don't they, Color? Don't they sound the same? Damn, my bad. Hey,
go ahead, DT.
Go ahead.
What do you want to say, DT?
I didn't talk yet.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
so I mean, I don't know. I just think people
somebody said something and it sounded damn like Irvin.
People got to get out of this idea that this is like an easy win for the Vikings. Like, I don't understand this mentality. I really don't.
I'm not saying an easy win at all.
It's because people fucking who are ignorant, they got the ignorant.
I don't. CT, I really think it's because of what I just said. The key to the game was, and I don't think the average person, believes Skylar can put up those kind of points.
And it's not even about that, though. I don't even think it has to go with points. I think that the average fucking person goes, oh, they're 4-1 and you're 3-2, so they should beat you. This is not how the fucking game of football works, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up?
Agreed.
It's like, bro, you cannot just
you gotta understand. I mean, look, Jalen Hurts.
And everything else.
Jalen Hurts over here had almost a perfect game. Listen to the quarterbacks I'm naming to you guys. And you guys want to sit here and start talking about Jerome Baker like Skylar Thompson is not going to come out and ball out versus the Minnesota Vikings.
Shit.
This is not even competition. Look at the receivers we have on our team. Mike Gesicki is about to wake up under Skylar with this guy under the center, bro. You guys don't see what's about to happen. If the Vikings score points, if the Vikings are able to score points, I think Skylar Thompson is just going to fire back each time and stay ahead. It's going to be a beautiful air show tomorrow. This is exactly what I've been waiting for. As a Dolphins fan.
Hey, can I please real quick? I want to interject.
This is going to look amazing because look, when you think about it, Moster's banged up. Chase Edmonds has been a little skeptical in the last couple weeks, right? He's been dropping everything. Everything is going to come down to our best weapons, and it's going to take this quarterback to deliver these passes. Bro, the Vikings are leaving guys wide open week after week. Jared Goff smoking them out. Like, what is going on? Skylar Thompson is going to do this team in. I see a high-scoring game due to our defense. You know, we don't have a good defense anymore, guys. You guys got to live with it. We got to understand. We got to live with it. The season is here.
But it's
good enough. Allow points,
but it's good. But it's good enough to keep us.
Agreed. Yep, in the game, and that's all that matters. And I want to give real quick, if I can, Color. Fuck you, MC. Alabama lost again. You enjoy your $20 from last week. I get it back. That's no problem. Oh, but again, y'all almost lost to two trash-ass Texas teams. And then Tennessee, you tried to come back, and they still beat your ass. And y'all deserve to get out of that top 10 and let somebody else come in and show y'all how it's fucking done.
Tennessee tried to get us in that game, bro.
Hey, does anybody know if Cater's going to play?
Yeah, he'd be chilling. I'm sure he
was listed doubtful. Yeah, and I don't.
He has been down. He has been listed as doubtful, which usually means no.
Hey, did Alabama win or what?
Concerning? No, Alabama lost, bro. But here's the thing, Culler.
One at a time, guys. One at a time. Yes, Alabama lost to Tennessee. For those that didn't hear, go ahead, CG.
And Culler, what I was gonna say though about the injury with Cater is he was listed the first time as limited. And then he was downgraded to doubtful.
Yeah, so that usually means no go.
Yeah, that
I'm hoping that doesn't mean Noah's going to spend more time out there.
Well,
hey, so I want to just talk about the most important thing. Hey, look, I don't want to hear none of that. I'm sorry, guys. The most important thing right now in this community, and everybody's trying to disregard it, talking about all this Cater Cole. Nobody cares about that. Let me ask a
Damn.
question.
Bro, we need corners.
Let me ask
Dude. What
a
are you
question.
talking about?
Damn.
Skylar Thompson. If he throws for
Skylar who?
412 yards, Skylar Thompson, his first career start. We're
Yeah, I know.
acting
I'm
like
just
this
fucking
guy's
with you,
0-0. He's 0-0. He's not 0-1. He's 0-0 right now by the books. If he beats the Vikings at home and he does what Cam Newton did in 2011, 411 yards, 4 touchdown passes, a beautiful rushing touchdown in there somewhere, no turnovers. How is anybody talking about Tua Sunday night versus Pittsburgh? Is that even a conversation? And
Hell
why?
yeah.
I
So
need a great
how
explanation.
about we get there before we count our chickens before they're hatched? How about that?
Yeah, no, this is
I
going to
want
be a hard
Skylar, I
game.
want Skylar to play his ass off, and I'm ready for
We're
Skylar
gonna
to
get
ball
there.
the fuck out.
Yeah.
Skylar time on fucking MCJB's channel. Go check it out if you haven't. But man, he got me hyped for Skylar. I'm fucking on it.
Okay. So
I
can
also
I?
don't want to. We cannot count
Can
those
I?
chickens.
Can I just answer why we would even entertain that question right now? What Pete's trying to do. Somebody's got feedback. If you guys want to, I don't know who it is, but I need whoever it is to mute. I don't have.
Yeah, he just did.
Gotcha. So what
Is
I
it
think,
me?
what Pete is
Now it was
trying to do.
DTA. He was eating chips.
So what Pete is trying to do is Pete is trying to visualize the extreme so that at least the above average happens. You see what I'm saying? If we're entertaining that question right now, then what we're doing is we're assuming he's at least going to win tomorrow instead of assuming that he's at least going to lose tomorrow. That's all that's going on right there. You know what I mean?
Agree. Yeah. Where I was getting at though is so in this sense, and this is where
in other words, what I'm saying, CT, is if we're arguing whether he's going to put up 400 and something yards or not, well, even 300 would beat the Vikings. So you know what I mean? Like we're arguing.
No, I agree, and this is where I was trying to say though is, and this is where again, I'm not, bro. If Skylar comes out and performs right, and we still have, again, to a clear protocol, and an article even came out earlier that had they started the protocol with him the day after the Bills game, he would have been able to play last week. However, the NFL decided at that point, even though they gave him the concussion test, he had not the Bills. I apologize. Cincinnati. They gave him 4 days or 5 days rest till the following Monday before they put him in the protocol. So there a high likelihood he could have played this past week. Which
hey, CT,
but
you know what
let me finish, Todd, real quick. It's a simple thing. My thing is hey, if Skylar comes out and balls out, fuck yeah, I'm on it. If he can come out and perform and play well, I have no problem with the QB battle.
Are you on it for Sunday night?
Problem with the QB battle.
Are you on it for Sunday night?
Well,
No,
we gotta
that's
get
what
the
I'm
Vikings.
saying. Again, this is
Sunday
where you're missing,
night
Pete.
don't matter. We got a game
This is where you're
tomorrow.
missing, Pete. What I was saying is, if Skylar comes out and balls out tomorrow, right? I have no problem with the fucking staff going, hey, he balled the fuck out. Let's see what's going to happen in practice because Tua still has to come out and perform.
CT, the question is, do you think that they'll that they'll do that, or do you think that it's a secure, guaranteed, no matter what Don Shula's situation, where every injured player gets their job back no matter what? You know,
I don't know if I can say that for certain, for the simple fact that Culler, you and I, we've talked about it publicly and privately backstage and other shows. I don't know how I feel about the way that the NFL has already handled this. I don't know how much pressure they're putting on the Dolphins because if Skylar comes out and he balls the fuck out, if
you got to roll with that.
Guarantee there's pressure.
If he balls out, like you're saying, hypothetically.
Can I please finish, please, Pete?
Yeah, go ahead.
All I'm saying is because of my non-belief in the NFL and their motives, I don't know how much they're putting pressure on the Dolphins, but if they're putting any pressure at all, it leads into, so Tua's healthy. All right, we passed him and cleared him from protocol. even if the Dolphins want to hold him out next week, because Skylar plays well and balls out tomorrow, right? Say they go, okay, we're gonna have Tua and him split reps for the Pittsburgh game, right? And if they say, oh well, the NFL's still putting a little pressure on us, why not let fucking Skylar go out to Pittsburgh? And this is only again predicate on him balling out tomorrow, why not go, okay, make it a 2-week battle, but allow Skylar to come in Pittsburgh, because if the NFL's still putting pressure on us, I'm sorry, but if anybody wants to downplay,
okay, CT, you gotta let people respond. You answered you asked a question, and so what I would say is, the reason they wouldn't, that they would just put Tua back in.
Culler, you sound like you're far right now.
Yeah, give me a second. I'm in a stairwell, so give me a second.
Oh, good man.
I had to bring Chewy out a second. The main reason they wouldn't keep Skylar in is for the same reason that as soon as we started talking about it, everybody's asking the question as to why we're even talking about it. And we all know what that is. So
I agree.
We don't have to have that argument. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, no, my opinion on the thing is I just think that's like a discussion tomorrow night. Whereas personally,
Bryson, everybody's already saying we're going to be 3-3 tomorrow night. So
Culler, that's my thing. So Culler, that's my thing. I don't. I heard you say that. I heard you say that earlier, and I'm on board with you. Like, this is a winnable game, but I'm still nervous about it. I think we can win this game easily.
Right.
But
And my purpose tonight, Bryson, was just to show why, maybe to ease that nervousness in people. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
Looking at these stats, going, wait a minute here, 48% pressure rate last week. You know, it seems to me if we fix get our offensive line back on track, we're fine. Like, even with Skylar, you know what I mean? Like,
I agree,
man. Yeah, for sure. No, I'm not worried about offense. That's not my worry, because the Vikings don't have that good of a defense. It's all right. It's middle of the pack, but I'm worried
credit
more.
Where it's due. Look, I don't want to credit Skylar for everything.
They have a nice defense.
Our run game got on track last week too, so we got to continue that as well. You know what I mean?
You just made the ignorant statement that they have a nice defense.
CT, you know they have good Jefferson Griffin and shit.
Culler, tell him, bro.
I wanted to make sure that Bryson got a chance to finish what he said, because I kind of cut him off.
Yeah, no, I'm basically, my biggest worry tomorrow is our defense, and when I say that is because when you don't have X and Byron on the field, which we haven't had all this year, we haven't been able to run our exact defense that we want to, because you can't trust the guys that we have out there to run that zero blitz. They need that safety coverage.
Part of that is also the quarterbacks we face requiring a spy. And people
for sure.
And people might not think that about Zach Wilson, but if you look at last year's tape, which is what all Mike McDaniel had to go with, Zach Wilson did run kind of quite a bit on us last game.
For sure. You know what I mean? Yeah. But my biggest thing about this defense is our tackling is absolutely awful. We need to take a step in tackling. 3-4 guys touch a player.
And that's the discussion that transcends Tua, Skylar, all that shit. Because
I'm not worried about quarterback. I think I trust Mike McDaniel that he made the right decision with Skylar. I think I'm good with that.
If we don't get this tackling issue fixed, we don't even need to be sniffing playoffs. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Agree.
For sure. But JJ, I mean, I know we got receivers. I'm not saying we don't, but Justin Jefferson with Adam Thielen, I think X is going to do well, but I mean, they got a firehouse over there.
But that's where I agree with Todd Labruto is that the real issue is we need to hold on. Somebody's got to mute. I'm getting feedback.
Is it me?
Yep. Whoever it was that just muted, that's who it was.
It was DTA.
But all right. So Todd Labruto made that point, is that really, and we probably will get run all over because of containing the receivers. You know, so it comes down to Dalvin Cook in the flat, in the back, you know, coming out of the flat with the pass. You know what I mean? So we got to.
that's going to hinge right back on what we just said, mid-level tackling, which we have zero of. You know what I mean? Like zero.
I don't really know how you answer that. Really, how do you do? You know what I'm saying?
Who's gonna
like,
cover the little speedster?
If we
they got?
have the personnel.
I'll tell you how. I'll tell you how. You make their asses run wind sprints in practice until they get it.
Well, it's part of that.
This arm
tackling.
tackling
I've said it before
bro.
too. Color is
Color
why not
big
at
guys
this
in
point,
back
knowing our
Sharif.
deficiencies at corner, right? Why wouldn't we, having the plethora
For sure,
of
DTA.
decent offensive or defensive linemen, why not run a 5-2 shell and allow the fucking corners and the safeties to play back a little bit farther and allow them to play not necessarily in a zero blitz, but having the
But that's
ability
kind of
to
what we've
stop
been
the
doing.
run.
That's why we've been able to
but
contain
Color-
most guys' receivers,
but
bro.
Color-
We've been able to do
Exactly.
that.
That's what I was getting
Color,
at.
ask him.
Is
Well,
it's
when
kind
do
of
you wanna
works
play
for
that?
us.
Will you want to try to play that all game?
No, not
When
all
do you want to
game.
play that?
You want to
Hey,
play
what's up,
that on
what's up,
short
everybody?
yardage situations and first downs where you know teams are going to run on you. That's the situational part about football. You're not going to run a 5-2 the whole 5-2 shell the whole fucking time. It's when you know the run is coming or when you suspect it. And even if you throw shit in there here and there to, oh, I'm going to drop back this guy into coverage, whatever. Okay, if you want to do that, fine. Fuck it. I don't care. But at some point, you have to keep the only thing that has kept this defense afloat as far as the run game is concerned is when we ran that 5-2 convert shell. That's the only thing that's kept this defense in the run defense department at all.
On that note, I want to welcome Beer Guy, who had a great time last night. Great time watching the show you were
Hey,
you were
Color,
working last
it's
night.
confirmed, bro. That was your logo.
Oh, right.
He say he went back
If
on the
it wasn't-
rewind and
if it
watched.
wasn't, it was
remember
by this
last
morning,
night when he
wasn't
had
it?
all that?
Yeah, bro. Hey, beer
I
guy
appreciate
texted me.
you stopping by, guys. I appreciate the love you showed last
Dude,
night.
it was
Man.
crazy.
And Sharif, welcome to Sharif as well.
What up, Sharif?
Hey, how you guys
Sharif
doing?
Had a great take.
I have a
I'm
question.
trying to go back to last night, bro.
What's that, Beer Guy?
I'm trying to I'm trying to teleport back to last night, bro.
You were on it, bro. You were vibing.
We
See,
gotta
the
get
problem
you
is
doing,
it's
we gotta
not.
get you doing live spots for us at the game sometime, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
pipe you into our
As long
feed
as
or
he don't fuck himself up like last night, Color, when he admitted on stream something that he shouldn't have admitted afterward on Iceman's channel, trying to fuck himself up.
Uh-oh.
You know what I'm not gonna like about
Wait,
tomorrow's
what was
game
that?
that I
What did
got
I
a
say?
feeling is gonna happen?
No, we're not gonna say
You know, I'm not putting it out. We already privately talked about that. You know what I'm
Listen,
talking. Where you
Color,
almost fucked
Well,
yourself
and we
up.
don't
the
want to steal
Vikings-
all of the Beer Guy's content, so make sure you guys are getting over to his channel and subscribing to it. He basically been doing some live streams from some of the venues that he works as a beer guy, so it's really fun to watch, fun to be a part of.
That
Hey,
color.
tell him,
I have a question.
hey, give him, hey, real quick, Beer Guy, give him the shout out, the first shout out you bring into the stadiums. What you got, dog? What you got up on tap?
What am I selling?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys know what I'm selling. They're always ice cold dicks.
Hey, pretty soon you're gonna be selling Color beer. It's gonna be
Hey,
Color
Color
beer.
beer, right? I
Yeah,
like
see, I love
Hey,
you,
I'm
and
with
I'm
it, bro.
sorry. I just had to. I'm sorry.
Hey, Color, you remember our conversation
Color
yesterday?
stamp on that beer.
Which one was
Hey,
that?
wait, hold on
DC?
1 second before
When we were talking during Beer Guy's show when his phone died?
Hey, Color, what the hell were y'all smoking last night, bro?
Yeah,
That
bro.
sounds
Look, that's what I was about to tell
Y'all
you
went
right
from
now.
Area 51. Skylar just wants to recap earlier in the day. Y'all went from Area 51 to fucking Travis Kelce being the best tight end in NFL. real quick.
Well, some of us believe. Well, real quick, some of us believe that Travis Kelce was genetically engineered at Area 51. So
there you go.
Oh shit! He flipped that on you, Beer Guy. He flipped that on you.
Real quick.
Hey, Beer Guy was like, "Oh shit, damn! Is Travis Kelce an alien?"
Hey, no, I don't believe Travis Kelce.
question
You know,
for
you know who might be an alien though? Cooper Kupp.
Nah.
Oh,
He's got rubbery bones and
I mean,
shit.
he's not
Yeah,
alien.
nah.
He's
He's
just
not alien.
no, he's just Steve Largent's like long lost love child. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
He's a little faster than Ed
It's like,
McCaffrey to me.
Oh, y'all older heads like me. You remember Stretch Gumby?
You mean that
Stretch
cartoon
Gumby?
thing
Yeah,
on the computer?
that's what fucking Cooper Cup reminds me of. Is when he
Stretch
gets
Gumby.
stretched out or he gets fucking into some tackle and he pops right back up and you're
Can I
like,
ask you guys a question?
Hey,
what
that
the
game
hell
was
is
pretty
that?
dope, yo. That game was
All
pretty
right,
dope.
guys, let's get back on track. Sharif, I want to hear what you got to say about tomorrow.
No, I know. I was wondering, has anyone heard of when Byron Jones can possibly be back? Anyone? Because we're hearing that everyone else is coming back.
Maybe next
I
week.
think
I think
not
2 weeks,
sooner
2 to 3
than
weeks.
You see the injury
2027.
list?
He said
Yeah, exactly,
2027.
Color. Tell him. Tell him real. Tell him real, dog. Tell him again, Color. What year?
Because the 21st
Do
day
you guys
off the
expect?
pup,
Do you guys expect McDaniel? Do you guys expect McDaniel tomorrow to play that slow ball?
What slow ball? What you talking about?
Yes. Yeah, the run game. Yes,
Like
I
hold
do.
I want to run. I want to see Mostert. I want to see a lot of
running,
Evans, bro.
short
But I
passing,
think that
well,
easy
Pete,
stuff,
here's where I
we're,
want to say though. I think
holding the
until he
ball to
proves
the
he
last
into a
second,
rhythm.
chewing the
Here,
clock.
to answer your question, Pete, I think tomorrow
Call
might
in.
finally be the week that we get that big early run for a touchdown, man.
Nice.
It might be, but also Color. Here's where I was trying to say, Pete, is I think a lot in this aspect is just like in that second and third quarter where Skylar got on that rhythm and he was in it, right? Until I think that he proves to McDaniel or Bevel.
How did you commandeer Sharif's floor, bro? How do you do that, CT? Like I can't
He
figure. Like
does that. You know
you
that.
are so
Sharif went
gifted,
and
bro.
then
That's his
Pete
You are
thing,
went
bro.
so
and then
That's
gifted
his
you
thing.
went.
That's
It's
what
like
he
a.
does.
He
Like
Sharif
hears
went
the
and then
line
you
in the
went and then Pete
cafeteria.
went and then
It's like the cafeteria, bro.
I'm
So
just
he be
messing with you,
skipping the
bro.
line.
I know, no, I know. We all did it to him. I'm sorry, Sharif. Go ahead, big dog.
I'm
I'm
sure his
sorry. We
take
all
was
did it to
longer
him.
than.
no, man,
I'm
no.
sure his take
I
was
was, I
longer
was,
than is Byron Jones coming back. You know what I mean?
no, because I know the pup
I'm
list,
sorry.
it's 21 days. I think it's what, the 16th day. So that means if Byron is if a decision isn't made on him, whether he's active or not, that means he's on IR for the rest of the season. So
Yeah,
they have
you
to
know I
make a
talked
decision
about
by
on that.
Monday night.
Yeah, no, it's not Monday. So Batman and I talked about it. You were on there when we talked about it. So it's
Right.
it's 14 days after he's activated. So after he's activated off the pup, he can practice for 14 days before they can either bring him back to the active roster or they can reinsert him on pup. But if they reinsert him on pup, his season is over. If they put him on IR, his season is over. So it's they officially signed him to the
Isn't the
pup
pub 4
on
to
a
6
Tuesday.
weeks?
It was a Tuesday. So it's not Monday. It's not this Tuesday, but the following Tuesday they have to make a decision by.
Right. So
left side. Strong side.
You know what's
so
strange
possibly
to
he
me?
can be back. Possibly he can be back after the Pittsburgh game.
He could, but I've said this on Batman's channel too, and I've said it on here. Man, listen, he was supposed to have a routine cleanup surgery. He had it 2 weeks before the preseason started. It's supposed to be a 2 to 4 week injury. Well, then McDaniels updated us and said, yeah, he's not going to be ready till the first week of the season, right? So
Exactly.
that first week of the fucking season was 6 fucking weeks ago. And I said at this,
I don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
all I
I
was trying
guess
to say though is I just don't
if we
think that
don't
at
see
this point it's almost a Will Fuller 2.0. It's a Will Fuller 2.0. And I'm
okay,
just
so
leaving
if
it
we
at
don't
that,
see
bro. Yeah, I called it.
if
I
we don't
called it
see
on
him after
Batman's
the
channel.
Pittsburgh game, then because what I'm afraid of, Color and CT, is if we don't see him after the Pittsburgh game, then the zero blitz is going to be affected on third downs, meaning this defense can't carry us to a wild card game, bro. And if
You're
that's
right,
the
because we're
case,
the worst on third down
week
right
8,
now.
if that's the case, CT, week 8, please start packaging some straights.
And you know
Please
what,
don't
Sharif?
don't
And you know
even.
what, Sharif? I think starting tomorrow, if Skylar balls out and this defense doesn't play a par and we give up a lot of yardage all over the ground, all through the air, and Kirk Cousins is
And we
blowing it
lose.
up. No, we're gonna win tomorrow. Skylar's gonna hold it down. This is the controversy that's gonna happen. If we have no defense, do you guys really expect Tua to come back and win with his arm without a defense on this team?
I mean, I agree, but I wanted to add one quick thing to that whole Byron thing. Another thing that makes me think that Byron is Will Fuller
Hey
2.0.
Pete, why does your question always have to involve
It
Tua?
doesn't matter what you think.
I just wanted to say that
Shout out to the
we
Because
were
you guys
involved
are
in
not
trade
over Tua
talks.
yet.
We were involved in
It's
trade talks
Skylar.
for another cornerback. So
I'm
that
sorry,
tells me
TT.
that this staff is not confident in Byron Jones returning.
Call
So go ahead.
in.
What's up, Iceman?
All
I didn't mean to
right.
interrupt you,
Chilling.
TT. I was just feeling that way towards Pete because he's always got to bring up Tua even though he's not playing this week.
Am I right, bitches?
I'm not a hater, though. I love you, Pete. You're my brother, but I don't know you like that.
But they're
Hey,
still
but
talking
here's the
about
thing.
Tua even though he's not playing this week. What are you talking about?
Hey,
They're
bro,
literally still, and he's not playing.
I like Tua too, but Pete made a really good point though. I mean, I said it when he said it on Twitter too. Like, how do you, if Skylar does go and ball out like that, it would be dumb not to look at that.
Well, that's
Yeah,
kind
but
of what
that's
I
what I
meant
said
by
earlier.
that's why I
Look at
tried to
this is
look.
what I
Hold on,
and look
CP.
at everything he's dealing with. The
Hold
long
on,
injury
Pete. Hold on
report,
a second,
no
Pete. That's
running
why I
game,
tried
no
to.
offensive line.
Right,
Like,
but Pete,
and he does
that's why I
that,
tried
and we're
to.
not
That's
rolling
why I
with
tried
that.
to. Hold on, Pete. That's why I tried to bring the perspective to the table of, hey, look, the historical precedent. You know what I mean? Like in 60 years, they don't like they go with the hot hand. Very rarely do they yank a guy out that's got a hot hand.
Pete, what happens if
Exactly.
he shits the bed though?
Agree, but that's where I also
Hey, so
said
Color,
that.
let me
But
ask you
that's where I
this.
also said,
So,
Color.
Just
You
know
better
say
than
if
Ricky.
you
Balls out
see how
this
we're
Dallas
week.
is
probably
balling with
gonna
Cooper
go
Cup
on a
right
Battle
now,
it
long
out.
losing
do you think
streak.
Let
if Dak was able to come
Damn.
back, they would?
Skylar
Hey,
battle
one
it
at a
out.
One at a
time.
time,
One at
guys.
a
One at a
time,
time.
guys.
I got
One
you.
at a
Let me
time.
ask this real quick. Hey, Color, everybody. So same situation. Say you know the situation with the Cowboys, right? How Cooper Cup is balling and everything right now. Do they have a quarterback controversy right now? And when Dak comes back healthy, do they give up on Cooper Cup?
Yeah,
We'll
but
find
Cooper
out
Cup is
tomorrow.
not really
We'll find out
balling
tomorrow,
because
beer guy. But
CeeDee
I don't think.
Lamb is
Hold
nowhere
on.
doing
I can
good.
answer this actually statistically. Tomorrow we may find out, but I think if you look at actually what's going on behind the curtain with Cooper Rush's stats, there is no controversy there. It don't matter what he does. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that team is winning for them. If you look at Cooper Rush's stats, they're like, let me just throw one out there. Cooper Rush is throwing for 167 yards per game. Skylar threw for 166 last week.
That's
Cowboys
true, Color,
quarterback.
but those yards mostly came in that fourth quarter. Am I right?
Yeah, but
Who,
Colin, you
Cowboys?
also have to understand how many passes got
I'm
dropped.
not doubting
No,
Skyler though.
you
Colin,
cannot.
let's
You
not do
cannot
this,
Hold
bro.
fault the
on, CT.
guy.
Let's not do
Wait,
this.
what's up, Color?
Let's not do this. Let's not sit here and nitpick how Skylar got his yards. That has nothing to do with the point I was trying to make.
That's true. My bad.
The point I'm trying to
curious, man.
make
I
is
wanna
that
win.
Cooper Rush is a paper tiger. That's all I'm
true. I hear
saying.
you.
And there is
And I could
no
sit here.
controversy
I could
there.
sit here and add about 80 passing yards to Skylar last week on those 2 pass interferences that he did, and they took away a passing touchdown away doing the
See,
little
that's why I
dirty
didn't want
Durham
to. That's why I
Smythe
wish you
quarterback
wouldn't have
sneak.
brought that up, Colin, because that's what everybody thinks we're arguing now, and it has nothing to do with what the point was, dude.
I hear you, Color. It's
He
just
threw
that,
for
man, I'm
166 yards, and if you give him the catches on both those
Now you
PIs, he
got
throws
started
for
him.
almost 300. So what?
I know, Color, but weren't those underthrown on those
I
PI
don't give a
throws?
damn.
I know, man.
How would we know?
Color, I'm always rocking with
Because
you,
we
man.
And
watched
this is
it
the
being
reason why,
underthrown.
That's how he
Play.
acting.
Hey,
He's just
you
chilling.
two
He's
in here
chilling.
still ain't wake up, right? Tua already is cleared to play,
Bro, Pete,
and guess who our starter is tomorrow?
Pete,
You
when
guys
you
are
say
here. Wait,
souvenirs, just
stop
say
it.
my
Stop
name.
it. Stop it.
Just
You
say
guys
my
are
name,
seriously
Pete.
going to bring up underthrown bullshit and hold that stupid grudge about people saying Tua underthrows balls. You're really going to tell me Skylar Thompson ain't got the arm to put those out in front?
No, it's not that, Color. It's just that
Then
I
what are
haven't
you
seen
trying
it
to
yet.
say?
And yeah, we
He has the
hasn't
ability
gotten
to,
enough.
but he didn't. That's the issue.
That doesn't mean they wouldn't have been caught had the pass interference not happened.
I'm not arguing that. I'm saying, and I agree with
Why
you
bring it
again.
up?
Because Culler, I felt like
to
he
make
was
sure we
underthrown,
all
man.
know he underthrew a couple balls. Okay, we
I
get
hear
it.
you.
Put it
Culler.
on the list so we all know he sucks compared to Tua.
I
Really?
know. No, it has nothing to do with Tua.
Then
Just 'cause
why
I'm a
bring
Tua
it
guy,
up?
it just has to do with the throw itself, not Tua. If Tua wasn't even on the team, I'll still be
Why
talking
did
about
you
the
bring
throw
it
that
up?
was made
I
out
was
there.
talking about why Cooper Rush is not what people think he is.
And
it didn't even
you
have to
said how
do
many
with
yards he
Skylar.
got. You said how many yards he got, and I said, damn.
Right. So how dare I? How dare I?
No, not that at all, Culler, man. We're brothers out here at the end of the day.
Then why'd you bring it up, bro? Why?
Because at the end of the day, I didn't feel like
it has
Skylar's
no relevancy to what we were talking about whatsoever.
I
It was
didn't feel-
opening the door for arguing about where Skylar got his yards at. Why?
Because I didn't feel like he's been doing his thing like most people think we're gonna.
What does that have to do with what we were talking about?
It doesn't. It doesn't. It just has to do with I'm scared for this game. That's just me thinking past the question you asked, which
if
my
you're
bad.
scared, then
I'm
that's
sorry.
your problem. I can only tell you what the reality is, and if you don't want to believe it because you're so stuck on Tua, that's your problem.
No, I'm not stuck on Tua, Culler. I'm just worried. I'm worried about Skylar starting in this game. I'm just like some of us are out here. Someone else could, stand up. Y'all got to be nervous that we're
right. So if you're worried about Skylar, that's my point. Why would Dak Prescott be worried about his job against Cooper Rush?
Hey,
that was the point.
You're right, and like I said,
But that goes back to the point of why would we
with that
worried about
average
Tua losing his
and
job?
that salary? Come on, Culler. There's a big difference, guys. You guys are comparing Dak and Cooper to Tua and Skylar, and I don't like it. There's too many variables there that don't make sense.
Stop.
Exactly, the variables. They're never taken into account.
I tried to stop it from happening.
That's true, Culler. I just don't think that Skylar can win with that same amount of yards, like even because I don't think our defense is going to play like the Cowboys did for Cooper Rush. That's what I meant. I should have said that from the start, but that's how I felt whenever.
Well, good thing Dallas is not playing the Vikings tomorrow because wasn't the question.
I know, but that's how I felt.
The question was whether Cooper Rush is a paper tiger or not.
Well, that's my bad. I was just responding to how many yards he had, I was just trying
The
to
whole point is though, the question was asked whether or not, again, Dak Prescott is worried about Cooper Rush taking his job. And based on Tua's performance when he wasn't injured versus what Skylar had in his first game, and it depends on what Skylar does in this next game. I'm excited for Skylar. I want to see what this fucking dude's got. I am super
you know
excited.
what? You know what? At the end of the day,
I don't know, man. It don't matter what we talk about. It's got to be about Tua, bro.
No, I'm coming at it from the other side, Culler. It's all love, man. I'm just coming at it from the other side, bro. I'm just trying to tell you how I feel at the end of the day, so you can see maybe how some of the Tua guys feel.
And let me tell you,
bro,
let me tell you how I feel.
There shouldn't even be a Tua guy. Be a fan of the team.
Listen.
Got the hot hand.
Listen. I brought up Skylar was to say that if you believe Cooper Rush could take Dak Prescott's job, then you would believe that Skylar could.
I didn't answer it how you asked the question. My bad.
If Cooper Rush was averaging 300, if this guy was an MVP race right now, they're in a contract situation with Dak Prescott that they would be benefiting. They would be benefiting in trading Cooper Rush. You understand that scenario because of the contract that they have.
I'm on the fence.
What does that have to do with your original
I haven't
point?
decided yet. I haven't decided yet whether Jerry Jones wants Cooper Rush to look good or whether he wants him to fail yet.
Hey, you guys ignore all that bullshit. Shout out to Aquavision for the $10 donation. Appreciate you. We do enjoy the stream. Thank you, man.
Thank you so much, Aquavision, and thank you for catching me up there, beer guy. Always love Aquavision. Great contributor to the
We
chat.
love you, Aqua. Hell yeah, man. Hey, hope you and the family are doing good, Aqua. Damn, it's been a while.
Switched it up.
But yeah, man, I agree. I just think that again, I'm
Switched it up to
super
CT
excited for
talk. Go ahead.
Skylar. I want to see what he
Damn,
has
Pete.
a week coming in. I'm super excited for it. I'm waiting for that Dolphins dub. I told MCJB that's the only way he's going to be happy this weekend because the Braves got eliminated this
Alabama
weekend.
Hey, does
lost.
anybody have any
Alabama
follow ups,
lost
bro? Because
too.
I'm
So
gonna need a talk, bro.
MC's probably down in the hole with crypto and everybody
Right,
else,
busting a
and
move
he's
right
trying to
now with
crawl
some
his way
later.
out. Yeah, I'm
Dirty
sorry, but
wine.
the Dolphins are your only hope, man. I'm just saying.
Then that's gonna be sad. No, I'm joking. We got a chance. We'll see.
All right, beer guy. Were
Don't talk
you
to me
trying to
if your
say
team can't
something?
beat Alabama.
What's that, beer guy?
No, I said I pissed him off so bad, bro. He was like, "Don't talk to me if your team can't beat Alabama." Cause I was messing with him, bro. I was like, every time Tennessee scored, right? I was like, "Let's go, Bama." I was like, "Oh, my bad."
Hey, Culler, you don't know. So there was 5 of us who were texting him. He was on the plane down to Miami. He's going to the game tomorrow,
Oh, he
right?
didn't even get to watch the loss.
He didn't get to watch it, right?
So
he took off at 4:25. So he got to watch the first half when fucking Tennessee was whooping their ass. And bro, we were talking so much shit to him. And he landed.
he's
He
cool.
landed.
Hey,
he
didn't I
landed
get
when
him
it
where
was
I got him?
49,
Didn't I get him
49.
where I get him, Culler?
Yeah.
And
Hey,
what's
no,
the difference doing that with Tua right now? If Skylar is
Let me read the
balling
comment,
out,
Pete. Let me read
go
the
ahead.
comment.
Ooh, I love it when I get him out there.
Guys, let me read the comment, please. T Soul, first of all, new member of the chat I haven't seen before. Welcome to the Fins tailgate. Appreciate you. And they say, fuck that. I would trade Dak. Do any of you guys understand business? You buy low and sell high. And he's spot on. And that's why I'm not sure whether Jerry Jones wants Dak Prescott to be back or not.
I like that.
Color. So hypothetically, the
remember, that
argument, hypothetically, remember the argument was 500
hypothetical.
yards passing and 5 touchdowns passing as well.
You said
do that.
411 and 4 touchdowns. You said 411 and 4
Imagine he
touchdowns.
throws
Now
one
he's gonna
touchdown.
go. No, I said 500 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Okay.
CT,
Let's not
CT,
belittle
can you
everybody.
listen?
Hold on.
Can you
So
listen,
let's do it.
CT?
Let's-
Because
well,
me and
hold on,
Color know
Pete.
what we're talking about, not you.
Let's ask the
Listen.
question like this because CT makes a good point. Is there any threshold for you guys? And I'll make this all your final thought. You can add to the final thought about tomorrow's game and give me score predictions too. But answer this question, okay? Is there any threshold that Skylar could cross tomorrow that would convince you not to change quarterbacks going forward? And we'll start. Obviously, we know Pete's answer to the question, and I'll let Pete have his own final take after everybody answers. But go ahead, CT, because you're probably going to give the longest answer.
Actually, I'm going to give the shortest one. I truly believe that at this point that if Skylar can give me what Pete originally said, if he comes out and throws 400 yards and 4 touchdowns,
God damn.
I'm at the point where, yes, everybody knows I support the kid. He's a good kid. I think that his injury is what it is, and he has been given a hard time. But if Skylar comes out and gives us 400 yards and 4 touchdowns in this game, why not give him a shot and say, okay, give the quarterback battle this week. If you're still not comfortable, the league's putting pressure on you, sit Tua again. Let Skylar play in Pittsburgh. And if he shows up in Pittsburgh too, hey, Tua, it's been nice knowing you, but you can sit your ass on the bench. How about that? How's that a final take?
That's
How
a great
is
final
that
take,
a
man.
final take?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
I love you,
CT,
boys.
I love
you,
it.
boys.
I love it.
bro.
I'll be backstage. I love you, boys. I'm just saying. I keep it real, dude. I keep it real. I love y'all. See you, boys. Those boys backstage.
All right, Colin. All right, so you go next because I suspect I know the answer to I know your answer, but this is the part where you're at complete liberty to say whatever you want, and I will not dog you for praising Tua as much as you want, bro. This is the part of the show where you can do that.
Yeah. Hey, Color man. I think at the end of the day, you know, it's good as like summing this up. I think Skylar could get it done for us. You know, just like when Tua's in there too, I don't think it's gonna be because I need it to not be just because the quarterback. We need the defense, everyone else to stand up, man. And we just need to win how, you know, even when Tua's not having his best game. We need to win out something like that, you know, because I don't expect Skylar to have some great day, but we need him to have a good enough day so we can win, man. And
Exactly.
yeah, so I hope we come out with this win. And thanks for letting me on, man.
No
It's all
problem,
love
Colin.
to all y'all, man. And let's get this W. Fins up.
No problem, Colin. Have a good
Hey,
one, buddy.
Color, real quick
Yes, sir.
before
Y'all too.
I want to
we
be
move on to
seeing
the
lots of
next-
shoeies tomorrow, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Color, before you move on to the next final take, Iceman said if you could drop the link one more time so he could move to backstage with us. Yeah, exit out real quick.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
I just
I'll drop
want
it.
to say, Squiddy, clean
I'm gonna
that
drop it in
fucking
private
shoe.
chat too, so it's in private chat.
For sure.
Also, Squiddy, please clean that goddamn shoe before you drink out of it. You are
Oh, he
asking.
did.
for
I think
hepatitis
he
A.
I think he got a hold on. I think he got a brand new shoe to do it.
Oh, okay,
Like, for that
okay.
purpose.
Because
And I
hey,
think
I love you,
may
man.
have-
I'm being dead serious. Hepatitis A.
My
But
bad.
he
I'm
may
being
have
goofy, Color.
he
is
may
a
have
jujitsu. I'm
he
just
may have polyurethane the inside of it. You know what I mean?
he gave that shit a quick coat of lacquer.
Right.
Y'all
Make
are
sure it's
shot
nice
the
and
hell out,
sealed, you
bro.
know, so he don't lose a drop. You know what I mean?
Hey, I'm
Bruh.
just saying. Hey, I'm just being honest. I know this is my medical nerd, and I'm sorry. I know it's my medical nerd, but bro,
You're a nerd.
please clean
Nah,
your
man.
fucking shoes because no, you can absolutely get Hep A from fucking taking shoeies, and you don't want to be that guy.
I like
Even with the
edibles.
alcohol, it doesn't
Yeah,
disinfect
yes.
it. No?
Hepatitis A can live outside of the body for fucking almost 3
But
months.
can it live in alcohol? That's what I
Yeah, well, again, I don't know if it's the pH differentiates, but hepatitis strands are very fucking hardy diseases. So I'm just saying, I love you. Clean the shit because
right.
you don't want to be
All
that.
right,
dude.
I'm
That's it.
dumping you in back. You said your final thought, and now you're just getting gross, man.
No, I'm trying to not get him fucking have a damn disease
He'll be all
because
right.
he's
He got a
young and
brand new
stupid.
shoe. He got a brand new shoe, man.
You guys, I'm about to
Right.
drop the link for GoFundMe. Let's get cons for shoes so you can do shoeies.
Right?
Oh my God. Well,
But we'll catch you later, CT. I'm gonna drop you in back, buddy.
Yes, sir.
And we got who wants to go next? I'll let you guys decide because Sharif ain't talked much, but I'm sure he's got a lot to say.
I can go.
Oh, go ahead, Iceman.
All right. Well, thank you, Cutler, bro, for tonight, man. It was chilling. You already know. And bro, you know, tomorrow, first off, I want to say this. I hope it's a healthy, full out game from start to finish on both sides of the ball for both teams. That's first off, always. And secondly, bro, I do hope that we win. I do like what I've been hearing through Pete. He's been preaching the whole day. I mean, about Skylar and as well Color to Skylar. So you know what? Why not give us this guy to let it fly? Damn it. I think we all deserve it, you know? I mean, it sounds selfish, I know, but you know what? What's best for the team is what's good for us fans and everyone. So fins up, man, and everyone, bro. Have a great night, all right, man?
Later, buddy.
All right,
I'll
man.
take next. I'll take
Give him the
next.
sky and let it fly. Good night.
Yeah, I'll take next, man.
Go ahead, man.
Yes, sir. Well, basically, I'm captain of the 2-and-near fan club, but I still say this, man. Let Skylar show what he has, man. He balls out this game. Let him go again. Play against another rookie in KP, bro. Let both of them boys battle it out. But all in all, it doesn't even matter about our offense. Our defense needs to step up. We need the linebacker core to do their damn job. Stop missing all these open field tackles. Protect against the run game because everybody's worried about fucking Adam Thielen and JJ. Did we forget about a guy that played at FSU named Dalvin Cook? That last time I checked, he's healthy. He's a pretty damn good running back. But anyways, we're gonna still get that dub, man. I'm excited to meet you, Color, because I'm gonna be at the game, so you already know. Look for
Oh, right on.
I'm not hard to miss, like we said. Look for that Agba jersey.
I told you where I'd be at, right? Did I?
Yeah. But
All
you
right.
know, you can always remind me again when we're back.
Right on, man. And I'll probably see you on the
Anyways,
promenade anyway. The promenada. Anyway.
Anyways, y'all, fins up, mad love. And if you haven't already, I also do YouTube. Check out if you like some content at events, bro, at the Beer Guy Court.
Later, beer guy. I'll drop you in back if you still want to hang out.
Oh, I'm in back, bro. I'm in back.
Oh, right on. Right on.
All right.
DTA,
I'll go.
You going,
so
DTA?
listen. Yeah, I just wanted to say this too, and I kind of me and you talked about this, Culler, but both can be true at the same time, right? Like I can like Tua the person and Tua the player, but I can also be a fan of the team. And you all can ask Pete this, right? I used to hate and shit on his takes and defend Tua like big, but he makes really good points. And just like you said, I want whoever's going to be the best for this team to play, whatever that looks like.
Uh-oh. Well, he'll be back.
Boy,
Sharif, you want to
gets everyone.
Welcome back, Jan, Finns fan.
You agree with me? You
Jan,
get blocked instantly.
Jan says, agree, bro. I've been in disbelief since I've seen these people with this platform. These people, what am I, an alien or something? Bro, you know where the exit is, by the way. And nobody's forcing you to watch anything, dude. What's insane is somebody watching something that they think is insane. That's what's insane. Go ahead, Sharif. Give me your final thought, buddy.
Yeah, I've come to the point now where, you know, I think it was a year ago, I was very hot for Greer's seat, man. I was very hot, but the immense failure by Calhoun, Kinley, Eichenberg, and we're actually happy for Austin Jackson to come back. You failed immensely, and you know where I'm, guys. You know where I'm going in the chat. You probably think I'm going to talk about Cesar Ruiz and what we could have gotten, and for me, you know, it as a fan, we're not stupid, man. We're not dumb, man. We watch college. We know, and we knew that we were getting rid of Pouncey, and we were a year behind Pouncey, and we needed a center. To begin to even start to think about a left tackle when you know Christian Worth is not there, left tackle is not there, you get the best center. And to me, it's like you screwed everything up because you didn't think simple. You was getting a left tackle in the next year's draft that was falling in your lap. So now you have $30-odd million into Connor Williams and into Armstead when you could have had someone in here. You could have kept that $30 million to help your starter quarterback, and you would have had money to be used now because you have the O-line. You would have had money to use on the defense next year. So to me, Greer, you have to fall on this sword, bro. Because now,
or we could always,
in order to make
Culler, I
in order to make guys, it's not gonna happen, bro.
I know,
because what's gonna happen is guys like Culler and I, we're smart. We know we gotta go spend $25 million to get linemen in here next year. We don't want to be thinking like that because it's an immense failure by you, Greer, not seeing the pedigree in the guys who you're supposed to pick, bro. You left us hanging, and now we're in year 3. Nobody's waiting and eating popcorn for this team to grow. We're supposed to be expecting these pedigree line to be blocking
Sharif,
at this
this
point.
is the problem. Remember, what happened is Brian Flores screwed it up. He didn't give Tua the offensive line. He sabotaged them. This is why, remember what you said, Sharif, there's another 3 years of Tua. The development starts now under McDaniel. Remember you said that? So now he has to be
7-year plan.
7-year plan. Now it's going to be 3 with Tua. You're laughing, and that's what's haunting. Halloween is around the corner.
Culler's gonna put
But
the two of us in the
that's
back in a
7-year
minute.
plan is what haunts me.
you guys are getting me in trouble, man. You guys are getting me in all kinds of trouble. They're gonna be like, you heard what Culler said the other night, and it was literally you two. You know what I mean? How dare he give those guys a platform? Can you believe that, Culler, giving those guys a platform, talking about a 7-year plan?
Let let me just say this. I was the one that first said that I'm afraid of the 7-year plan. So that, and then crypto agreed with me because I listen, man. We don't have the pick because thanks, Ross. We don't even have the pick to if the quarterback screws up, we can't even replace him. Because thanks, Ross, for that. See, we're so effed up and Greer, like I said, you get Tua. You get Cesar Ruiz, Tristan Wirfs off the board. With the 21st pick, you can jump up and get Jonathan Taylor. Next year, you get Panay Sewell. This is what fans see. We watch college football. And I know I'm going on a rant.
And
but
by the no,
that's
and bro, well, I'm
30
going to cut
odd
that rant
million.
off anyway because no, I actually don't care what you think, Jan. That's precisely what I'm trying to tell you. You're the one that cares what I think. And to Mudbone's point, if you can find a clip of me ever saying that Tua underthrew a ball, find it, prove it, because I never said it. And if you think I did, you're trying to ascribe things to me that you heard on Twitter because your ass can't get off Twitter. Okay.
No.
Secondly, and if you think that this is a clown show because of that, remind you that I never said it. So who's the clown? The clown is the guy
Actually,
calling
when
clown.
Capitan,
The guy is the clown is the guy that is so cucked by another person in this community that he has to come to other people's shows while they're running him. People who are just asking questions and say that they're inconsistent and this is an inconsistent clown show. Well, guess what? Guess what? Consistency is slavery, bro. Hope you know that. So hope you enjoy your slavery, and I hope you enjoy being cucked by reason. Yeah, that's what I just said. Clip it. Run with it. Put it all over Twitter.
Tailgate.
and like I said,
Anyway,
when
Sharif,
you do the math.
Before you go, Sharif,
go ahead, Culler.
I'm gonna need you to say something. I'm gonna need you to say something positive about Tua. Because that's the requirement to be a decent show about Dolphins content.
Right. To me.
So make sure you end it with something positive about.
Man, don't do that. You
John
can't be doing
Santos,
that because that's not even our quarterback this week.
And
That's
John
not even our
Santos.
quarterback
The
this
sad
week.
thing is, Pete. The sad thing is, right, Pete? If you can't get John,
Well, real quick,
Embry,
Sharif, I just wanted to let John Santos
and
know that we here try our hardest not to boot people. And so, because the more they call us a clown show and tell us that we have a one-track mind and one perspective, the more we allow them to sit here and spew that to prove the fact that we're not the way they say we are. If I boot him, then it proves what he's saying about me is that we can't have everybody's viewpoint. So I think that the people like him are good for the community. If he doesn't want to subscribe, that's his prerogative. Because
Culler,
sometimes we'll put on
Culler,
subscriber only mode and he won't be able to watch it all. He won't be able to say nothing at all. So, you know.
But Culler, do anyone really watch Dudley? Because if you watch Dudley, I mean, most people's channels go critical of bad quarterback play, but who goes harder than Dudley? You and
it's because
El
it's not
Capitan,
about that. Because
you
it's
break
not
down
about
the
that.
game.
No, Sharif. Don't get it confused. It has nothing to do with Tua. It has absolutely nothing to do with Tua, and Jan knows it.
From what I've seen, Dudley actually goes
when it comes to what's going on right now, Sharif.
But they watching you. They're watching you. That's the problem.
Sharif, when it comes to what's going on right this very moment, it has nothing to do with Tua whatsoever. And Jan knows it.
I don't even know what's going on, Culler. I was
that's all I'll
Sharif was cooking.
I don't have to say much because everybody knows what it's about. We made it very clear what it's about.
I might be that slow guy. You know me.
No, I'm talking about Pete. I'm talking about what we made very clear the other night. I don't want to waste more time talking about it.
Oh, yeah. It's cool. But
well, here's what I'm
my
say.
final thoughts is
look, you know what, Culler? This is what I feel is going on. Tua and ears are in their feelings, and they know what's about to happen. Skylar Thompson is takeover time. That's why they're upset. They got to come out and disrespect Culler and do all of this. They feel it. And the quarterback controversy that's going to starting Monday Wait until ESPN Joy Taylor. Joy Taylor's gonna fall in love with his fade
Malika
and his
Andrews.
beard.
No, Malika Andrews,
I'm
Pete.
full blown.
Malika
I'm full
Andrews. We
blown
don't want
Skylar
Joy
Thompson.
Taylor.
I'm full blown supporting the Skylar Thompson treatment. I hope y'all saw the little fade, the watermelon in hand. We're ready. We're ready and we're trying.
Let's go, Pete.
I'm telling
You
you, the
guys take care,
quarterback
man.
controversy that tomorrow is gonna happen is gonna be to these 2-and-ears only unbearable. Expect some to close their channels. Expect some that have Tua channels to not
And
upload
if
content.
not, they got to right. And if not, and since they can't make us close our channel, they just come around like 12-year-old children needling you like any of them matter. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is what it is. I'm not. I used,
yeah.
you know, I know it sounds like I'm bothered by it. I'm addressing it, but at the same time, you guys should have heard me 3 months ago. I was way more in my feels about it than I am now. I actually enjoy their presence. I think that they enrich our community, our chat, just like anybody, just like you do, Pete. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
See, the thing is, right? What content creators tend to not see, because I'm around a lot of content creators, and especially on Clubhouse. But what I find is, you guys, content creators, you don't see the growth of yourself. You just don't, bro, because most of the time you are in the moment, right, Color? And this is why I told you in EM the other day, because you didn't ask for it. It's like your mom borning you out of wedlock. Mom, I didn't ask for this life. You did, you gave. So, and it comes with it, right? So the increase of the algorithm of the people who oppose your opinion is going to come so rapid. It's not that they're looking for you. It's just going to come with it. So my thing is, that's the stardom for you in EM. That's a start. That, you know how much people would wish to have that, Color? Like, people would.
I
And the
just
thing is,
wish
you
I had
live it.
I just wish I had a thicker skin,
But
you
just-
know, sometimes. But you
But
know,
that's the thing. When you
and just to
learn
prove
that
to
it's not
everybody, and
two
just to
people,
prove to everybody
see,
that we get, just to
but
prove
hold
to
on, let me
everybody
finish,
that,
Color. When you learn that two people are not in the comments, it's 110 and 300 people in the comments, you'll get over it eventually in time. But you started off with 2 people in the comments reading their questions. It's not like that anymore. I tell EM this all the time. EM doesn't get it. It's 300 and 400 people in the comments right now when EM is going on a rant, and he has to understand it isn't like when the channel opened up and it was just 2 or 3 people. So this comes with it.
oh,
So
bro,
the stardom
Sharif,
is a beautiful thing,
Sharif.
bro.
Yeah, and Sharif, I mean, you gotta realize. I mean, EM's not in the position to concern himself with whether he should get involved with chat or not. He's addressing everybody that comes his way, no matter what form they come. So it's not. I think people get a little too harsh on EM about getting in the chat, because that's precisely who he wants to talk to. You know what I mean? So to me,
nothing's wrong with it. But the stardom, he doesn't notice the growth. This is what I tell content creators, and they got millions of subscribers. They don't see their growth. They just doing the work, right? The growth, what they don't see, and the backlash doubles every day because different opinions. It's a beautiful thing. But just don't. It's more and more every day. Don't let it get to you, because it's more and more every day, bro.
So the person that just told me that I'm a clown and doesn't subscribe to this channel actually expects me to bring him up. And since I'm a magnanimous person, I will.
They're
How you
helping
doing
the
tonight,
algorithm.
That wasn't me. That's someone else going by a different handle. That's Jan. My name is John.
Oh, okay.
Color.
I got you. I see. I didn't realize that in StreamYard. So the guy I'm talking to in chat is Jan, right? Or
well,
that
all I can say is I got nothing against you. I love your takes, dude. You're the man.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's got fins with a Z. Yeah,
That's what's up.
I got you.
That's what's
How
up,
you doing,
Color.
John?
You have a lot of other people who don't care about bad thinking. They love your takes.
But look,
don't worry
Sharif,
about the
Sharif,
minimal.
Look at his name. Sharif, look at his name. It says John Finn fan, and the guy in chat is Jan Finn's fan.
Yeah, in all honesty,
Oh, that's
Culler,
a she.
I
Maybe a
love
she then.
And
when
I've
you
got
go off, man.
right.
I love it.
I've got him on StreamYard I've got the StreamYard on my smaller monitor. So when he came in and it said John FinFan, I just thought it was Jan.
I'm gonna get back to the chat, but hey, that ain't me,
no
Culler.
problem.
We love you, man.
You want to give a final thought, real quick? What do you think about the game tomorrow?
Oh, woo! I'm a Skylar guy. All right, so I just thought during the Jets game, I saw that guy take an absolute beating, and he kept getting up. And I'm pretty excited to see maybe what he can do with the full week of game plan. And I'm just really, I don't know what to say. I am just so excited about seeing this guy play. He hasn't been anointed by anyone, and that's something that I like. I think every quarterback we've had for the Dolphins has been anointed as going to take us to the Super Bowl. And frankly, other than joking around, no one said that about Skylar. This guy has come out of nowhere. So
yeah, and
I know
really, if we're wrong and the guy completely collapses tomorrow, then how is it any different than any other Monday it's been for the last 2 weeks?
Honestly, no different. And what I like about seeing him, so if Teddy was to come in, look, we know what Teddy's all about, and that doesn't get me excited. But having Skylar come in as a Dolphin fan, I mean, I just love the hope. And right
it's
now,
kind of the first time that we get these guys that come our way up throughout the years that ball out in preseason, and some of us get excited, and then we get reminded later on why they were just a third string quarterback. But it's like this guy is like different. Like he might actually be one of those guys that you're like, oh, nobody saw him. You know what I mean?
And what I really like about it, we got Darrell Bevel, okay? And this guy saw Russell Wilson develop, and what he's come in, I've seen Tua play better, and I've seen that spin move. He picked that up from Russell Wilson. So if Darrell Bevel believes in Skylar, knowing the quarterback play that he's seen, I'm on board. I don't need Mike McDaniel to tell me. I'm following Darrell Bevel's cue here.
And this is the same thing as, like you pointed out, Tua. Like, I can't deny Darren Bevel.
I was dropping in the back, Color, until last takes.
Sure. All righty, man. Thanks. Yeah, I just, man, because, that's a great example. I mean, Tua himself. I mean, there's the staunch lovers that are like, no, it was always in him. It was all him that got improved. Okay, fine. You know what I mean? But the sensible people cannot deny the effect of Darren Bevel in the locker room when it comes to the quarterback room, I would say.
And let's face facts. Before Tua went out, I mean, he was looking really good. And I give this coaching staff a lot of credit, not away from Tua either, because he was stepping up to the plate and making it happen. All right.
Which I was having fun telling everybody for 3 weeks in a row. Like, it's nice to be able to say, oh, and not have to argue with everybody in chat all the time because, people want to gaslight me. And it's like, no, now they can't, because guess what? The stats back him up.
Yeah. And to your side of things, you have to keep a level head. You can't have these crazy hot takes from week to week. I mean, you got a reputation. You're projecting.
We also have to be able to ask questions without people thinking that's our position.
Yeah, no kidding there too.
I have to put the question out there like Pete's putting out there. What happens if Skylar throws 6 touchdowns tomorrow and puts up a 60 burger? You know what I mean? I mean, what happens? What are we talking about here?
I think
that's a fair question to ask.
I just was fantasizing about potentially that happening, and it could not be nothing but good for the Dolphins, frankly. But
because even as a Dolphins fan, we don't have to separate ourselves and say what would other pundits think about it, because we could just think of as being Dolphins fans. Don't we want the best chance to win for our team?
That's what I was trying to say earlier. Is both can be true at the same time. And me and Culler
And even if you give Tua the respect and make him the guy the rest of the way, we can rest assured comfortably that if the worst happens again, we're all right. We're not feeling like we are tonight. Everybody's feeling about the Vikings. Come on, people.
How are they 4-1? I'm stunned by that. It's crazy.
Their schedule. And the thing of it is where, if you ask me, The Vikings are what we were. Like, they're that team. Oh, they go on a run and everybody's like, yeah, but look at who they've beat. That used to be us. Now, when you look at who we've beat at 3-2, the 2 losses we got were without our starting quarterback. You know, the first one, we didn't have a game plan for Teddy. The second one, we didn't have a game plan for Skylar. So, yeah, we got caught with our pants down. Okay, fine. But look at the teams we beat when we were 3-0 and people were telling us, oh, who'd you notice nobody was asking that question?
Hey, and that's what's different. We're 3-2, but that's what's different about this year. Those 3 games are games we normally lose, and this year we won them.
Yep, and when we do win games like 3 or 4 games in a row, crickets, you don't hear that one question. Well, who'd they beat? I mean, notice? Has anybody noticed that? We haven't heard that question one time this year.
Honestly, that's the first I've heard it. I haven't even thought about it. I guess I just been schmitten with the fact that we beat those 3 strong coaches.
Right. So
no, I haven't heard that at all.
When I look at the Vikings, I'm like, yeah, we got a little down, but we're still the same team. We get back on track and execute. We should destroy the Vikings.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, Kirk Cousins scares me a little bit because, man, that guy could go. I mean, sometimes he could go off, and he's hard to stop.
But you're talking about in the dome in Minnesota, or the weather in San Diego, or the dome in Dallas, or maybe Green Bay. But has he ever gone off in Green Bay? I don't know. I'd have to look, but
I don't know. So you think the weather comes into play tomorrow for us?
I really do. And given the fact that I was right about it coming into play against Buffalo, I see no reason why it wouldn't come into play against the Vikings, a far inferior team to Buffalo.
I mean, if our team's coming out healthy, I agree with you. And it sounds like we're coming out pretty healthy, but I'll tell you, at the end of last Sunday, if you told me we're coming out healthy, I'd have said you're lying to me. So I guess we got to see what happens there. But if we come out with some injuries and guys aren't playing, I mean, this could turn on us too.
Sure. I think it's one of those situations where I don't really know if it's going to be close. If it's close, it's because of our doing. And to your point, I think if it is our doing, you're talking about major problems, and we probably get blown out anyway.
If we lose this game, I mean, there's going to be some problems because
the thing of it is the keys to winning this game also dictate that we should blow them out.
Well, and that's what Mike McDaniel, I mean, look, we lost these last 2 games. He went with Teddy. Teddy got hurt that first play. We could question that to death. But this is Coach McDaniel's game to win. I mean, he's got to put together a plan for us. He's got to really prove his salt. And I believe in him right now. But if we lose this, Culler, I'm going to be a little concerned, frankly. Because
I as well. And I think a lot of the narrative that's getting put out there is that we shouldn't be. And that's just wrong. That's the narrative I'm trying to fight tonight, pregame hype show. You know what I mean? Like, we got to get up for this, people. I can go to no stadium, and I don't want it to be quiet there again just because it's the Vikings, But Perfect Q says on Skylar Thompson's last press conference, he pointed out it was weird in a negative way that Tua and Teddy weren't out there to point things out to him. Now he has both. I think he'll do better. I think this is another point that people have seriously underestimated over the last week that's been made a few times. He had none of his peers to go to on the sideline last week. What is he going to do? Go to Cedric Will? Oh, what do you think about what is he going to do? To go to Xavier Howard? Bro, what do you think about you know what I mean? That's a huge thing. He had nobody. He had Coach McDaniel. It's like having your father with none of your brothers around to go ask them.
Is that all that was on the sideline for his support?
Well, yeah, because once they took Teddy off, he was done. He couldn't come back out.
But from the coach's perspective, they didn't have anyone there to help him.
Well, I mean, what we mean is like quarterback, like fellow quarterback. You know what I mean? Who's sitting there watching the game, pointing out some nuances that Skylar might have missed, or
I saw him on the sideline sitting at the bench by himself during the game, and actually I felt some sympathy for the guy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I was thinking, the QBs aren't there, but I would just figure the Dolphins would put somebody there to talk with him.
But it's still not quite the same. It's kind of like, you know what I mean? It's like if you had a couple, if you're on a, let's use NASCAR, you're on a team where you got a couple drivers, right? And all those other drivers got sick and couldn't make the race, and you're the only one from the team racing. That's like putting one of the tire changers with you and saying, well, he, knows a little bit about driving, go to him for some collegiate advice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, their lingo, ain't nothing going to match. I see what you mean, because, these are professional quarterbacks. They know what they're reading on the field.
Right.
Yeah.
And not to mention that plenty of people, including Mike McDaniel, have credited Teddy pretty heavily with making sure Tua as well as Skylar have been prepared as quarterbacks, as far as, the little things, both Tua and Mike McDaniel have credited Teddy with his mentorship to Tua. You know what I mean?
So I can't argue about that. So do you think the mentorship that he received from Fitzpatrick, it must have been a different dynamic with Fitzpatrick then, because he's always looking over his shoulder. But do you think Fitzpatrick was a good mentor to Tui like Teddy is?
I'm not so sure. I think people think that he kind of buddied with him, but I'm not so sure. I think Fitzpatrick might have been really offended by what happened. You know what I mean?
Well, the way he got benched for Tua to come in was pretty disrespectful. But the way I hear Fitzpatrick talk on these Thursday night broadcasts, it doesn't seem like he had. I know they did an in-person interview, but to me, it doesn't.
Well, he doesn't have any ill will, because the guy is the type that he's just a really gracious person. You know what I mean?
It didn't seem like he had a ton of respect either.
Right. Exactly. He's not out there pumping him. Oh yeah, I taught him this and that and the other. Or
right.
I always told him if he did this. No, none of that.
I didn't see any of that either. So
Kurt Warner's the type of guy who goes out there and makes sure everybody knows who he mentored. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. So speaking of Teddy, then, I guess it is safe to say that he's receiving a lot better mentorship out of Teddy. So
if you couple that with Darren Bevel, who might have even been responsible for bringing Teddy in for that purpose.
That spin moves Darrell Bevel. I'll tell you that, man. I've seen Russell Wilson make that move too many times not to know. That's a beautiful move, man. Woo. Oh man.
Oh, that one touchdown to Craycraft against who was
it against?
The Ravens?
To be honest, they're blending together, but I've seen him make a couple spin moves that were just last year. He would have been sacked on those, and it would have been nasty. This year, Tua, man.
I'll tell you what, we'll give the two and ears a little treat. Maybe I can pull that up real quick. Let me see if I can find it quickly.
It's a beauty. Well, that's the shame of it, because that guy was really coming along. And the last thing we needed, and I don't think anyone's seen it coming, was a head injury. That was the last thing. And the guy was rolling too. That's the shame of it. And I'm actually torn, because they say he's cleared to play, and I'm a Skynet kind of guy. But
but you see what I'm saying about tomorrow. Like, if you're going to go with Skylar, and there's those that argue that we can't really be sure about Skylar. Okay, that's fair.
We can't.
There is an uncertainty there. So if you're going to risk dropping a game because of an uncertainty, why not drop the game because of Tua's rust? I don't see the difference there.
Well, it's nice to get a look at Skylar, but at the same time, when does a franchise quarter, when does a QB1 ever get cleared to play and not actually start? It's just like, I'm kind of torn about that, honestly.
And you'd like to have the time to look at Skylar, but only if you believe there's something more there than just the third string quarterback.
Yeah, well, I want to see Skylar play. At the same time, we need to make. I don't know. I'm really torn about this, because I know Tua's coming back. And look, if this was Aaron Rodgers and he got cleared Saturday, he's starting Sunday. There's no doubt, So that part bothers me.
That's a great example. I hadn't even thought of that.
It bothers me. That part of it bothers me. I'm excited to see Skylar, but the way this whole thing playing out, it's bothersome. So,
all right, where
you got to do a treat for us.
I'm trying to get it up quick.
Yeah, I mean that spin move. And correct me if I'm wrong. Did anyone see that last year from Tua? That spin move? I didn't.
I'm not sure.
I just, and then something about him being a left-hander too. I think that spin's just a little different. It looks good, and I think it confuses defenders. So, anyways,
So
that one gave me.
This must have been shot by somebody live because it's got the shadows of the person in their box seat. So forgive me for the quality of the video. But let me get this shared up real quick. We're getting extra exhale tonight because it's noon 30. I mean, it's midnight 30 now, and I got to get up in 6
You poor
hours.
guy. I love the name
5
though.
hours. What's that?
XL with Ali. I love the name XL with Ali. It's just peaceful.
Yep,
Something about it, man.
He was gonna do. It came down to, either late night exhale or late night woosah. And we voted on it and went with, or no, he put a vote up on Twitter, I think, and the vote was for Exhale. The winner was Exhale. So
It's a beautiful name. There's something peaceful about it when I hear it, man.
The fans literally decided on the name of it in the long run, which we thought would be pretty cool, But here's the play we were talking about. They're showing it from Craycraft's perspective, so I'm not going to get it there. Unless they do the replay. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, no, that's not the one.
No, because there was one he floated up in the pocket. That might have because it was pocket awareness too. Look, I haven't seen that from Teddy. Certainly haven't seen it from Skylar. Tua's pocket presence is, and I just remember so many years of watching Ryan Tannehill. Like, we're all sitting there like, they're coming, move, and then he just gets buried. And then watching Tua though, there's something really magical about watching that guy in the pocket. From his spin move to maneuvering, it is true artwork, and that's I think that is honestly part of his game is elite. They're always talking about what he does elite, and I'm not a Tua guy, honestly. But this year he's shown me some characteristics that I could get behind, other than the injury. But yeah, his pocket presence is freaking phenomenal.
See, the fact that we even have to say, and I'm not a Tua guy. You know what I mean? I'm just saying there's the division that's been caused, and I think that's part of the problem is like, why do we got to choose? You know what I mean?
You just have this dichotomy where people really they take serious, their empathy is so deep for the man that they personally feel physical pain when somebody points out a deficiency. And so since the figurehead there is Tua, any insult to Tua is considered a personal insult to them. The problem is when they try to reciprocate that insult, we don't have a figurehead because not we, but the person that doesn't like Tua or is let's say anti-Tua, there is no anti-Tua figurehead. So when the insult gets reciprocated, it goes directly at the person personally. That's the difference between the two. If there was some kind of actual antimatter version of Tua that we were propping up, then they would be able to insult that person. And that person becomes every other quarterback besides Tua. And right now, that quarterback is Skylar Thompson. That's my take on the phenomenon.
That is so well said because, I say I'm not a Tua guy, but I say that because I'm not willing to defend Tua to the death on everything. And I am willing to criticize. And I know there are members of the fan base who are willing to defend him at all costs. So actually, I hate that it is that way. And we do have a division in the fan base. And Culler, you said it perfectly. And I don't like it, frankly, because I just want my team to win. But also, I think it's fair that I could criticize my team as a fan, and I should have that right. And with Tua, I feel like sometimes it's received offensively, and it sucks. I want to be able to debate my quarterback with folks without us just losing. I don't remember it being this way with Ryan Tannehill. I don't remember that type of.
Now I've also said on that point that I mean, yeah, the internet was around, social media was already picking up steam, but it wasn't quite as it didn't quite permeate our society the way it does now. So it could be argued that if Tannehill was playing in today's social media environment, maybe it would be as bad. You know, because I was never online arguing with people about Tannehill back then, but I felt the same way about Tannehill. I was off of him after year one, and I felt like I was screaming into a black hole. You know what I mean?
Lot sooner than he teased me the whole way, man. The whole way. I was like, because I'd see flashes out of him, but you know, he consistently would choke in the fourth quarter. I got kids. My wife would just have to tell me, hey, you got to calm down. You're cussing too much. Because
there were times when I thought he would lose games towards the end of the year because his wife didn't want him gone for Christmas. It got that bad. You know what I mean?
Oh, well.
So this is some of the film study breakdown from like Baldinger or somebody, but this is actually the particular play, and we'll get to see it in real time from the overhead. So here we go, real quick. He's gonna, here you go. He'll probably freeze frame it, but watch this. Boom. What? And then boom, right to Craig Crab. That is brilliant, just absolutely brilliant. And they're gonna show it from this angle. Look at this. What? Look at it. And then the guy took a block. Did you see that? Oh, how brutal. Oh, this is just brutal. Let's watch that part again. This is great. Watch this. Not only do you get your ankles broken. Boom. What? And now watch. Boom. Oh, that's brutal. That is just absolutely brutal.
That's hard to do. That's hard to, what are they on the 3-yard line? That is hard to do. So respect, man. And I'd like to see that every game. Oh man, that was good.
But
Culler, can we get that?
We're crazy because that happened last year, and we must have been in the restroom when it happened or something. I don't know. I've never
That
saw
didn't happen
anything
last
like
year.
that last year. You know what I mean?
No. It's coming out. Well, they say, you know, those quarterbacks take a while to develop, and he was on his way. But, you know, it never left
to
the
their
guy.
point, it's happening now, so we should be
It
happy
is.
for it and credit it. And I'm fully willing to. It's beautiful. That's great. I want that back.
Yeah.
I want that tomorrow.
And I kind of feel bad for the guy, too, because he's getting – and I'm doing it myself. I'm tagging this guy as injury prone. But, look, what can he do? The dude got hit in the dang head. Like, I feel like – no injury can almost keep this guy off the field this year other than that. And the NFL has to step in, and we're kidding ourselves if we don't think they had a huge influence.
Let's be fair. That spin move could have went the wrong way too if he would have just chosen to accidentally spin the other way, which is what I think happened in that play against Cincinnati. It's like, because he had the whole open side of the field, even if he wanted to continue the play. And then he spun out of he saw that guy release off of Williams, and he said, okay, I'm going to spin out. But then he spun basically right into him.
So you think part of that, him hitting the ground, was actually part of his own spin move?
No. What I'm saying is, no. What I'm saying is him making contact with the guy. He had the entire open side of the field to run to if he would have just squirted out towards the bottom of the screen. If you watch it from the TV, it would have been the bottom of the screen.
Oh, he definitely should have leaked out on that one. Yeah, there's no – yeah.
I mean, well, what I mean is with all the time he had and the field being wide open, instead of just taking that real estate, he spun backwards and met the guy that just released off of Connor Williams and then got spun around. And
I don't even observe that. Wow. Okay, that's well, that sucks.
And that just may have been a difference of I just chose the wrong way to spin. You know, like if he'd have spun the other or chose to squirt out that way, he'd had the whole open side of the field. Probably could have even run for 30 yards.
Well, I mean, he should have went out to the flat, look for something easy, or he should have thrown it away. Honestly.
And that's one of those things to the other point is like shoulda, coulda, woulda. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
the fact remains that it caused an injury, and you know, you understand what I'm saying? Like, you know how the NFL is. It's like nobody having injuries or multiple injuries is no different than having a lack of skill in a lot of people's eyes.
Yes. Oh,
Which
it's the
is
same.
probably not fair, but you know what I mean, is what that's the perception.
I mean, look, if I can't show up to work to do my job, my boss is going to have
Doesn't
a problem
matter how
with that.
good you are, right?
Right. So,
and we all understand that, and that's why I think it confuses me sometimes why people are so, taken back by my takes. You know what I mean? It's like, wait a minute here.
It's football though, but at the core of it, it seems like, I guess, our approach to it sounds inhumane, but at the same time, this is a really physical sport, and you have to be able to take a bruising. It's part of it.
Now, given the dynamics of this league, I mean, look, there is one way that can be overcome. We have a 17 game season. If Tua only made 13 to 15 games every season, but he won every single one of them, did he earn his break? You know what I mean? Like, his 13 wins per year is well good enough to be in contention every year.
100%, providing that doesn't happen during the playoffs.
Well, of course. Of course. But see, this is why I think that the real solution going forward for the NFL is going to be this idea of a 20-week season with 18 games with forced load management and a larger roster. Because you're going to have a situation now where it becomes strategy. And, in the betting world, they're going to love that too, because it's like, who does Mike McDaniel, when does he sit Tua? When does so-and-so sit Tom Brady? Because you're going to be forced to, at some point, where a player is only allowed to play 17 games, but we have an 18-game season with 20 weeks.
Yeah, but when you're doing that, you're devaluing the wins, I guess, because right now we all know every win matters. But I guess if we're starting to rest players, I don't know, it just changes the dynamic of the league.
It does. But at the same time, that's where you get you could get a little more parity, at least in the perception, because you'll have weeks where a really bad team will blow out a really good team, because that really good team might have sat half their players that particular week, or their star quarterback, or whatever. You know what I mean?
That's going to be some crazy.
And but on the flip side, you could have a case where we get more of these crappy Thursday night games because, that particular week, both teams decided to sit a bunch of good players. And now we're all sitting here watching high school football. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, I mean, it kind of boils down to injury, but we're talking about Tua here and his injury. I kind of wonder, Culler, what do you think about if the NFL changed like their helmets to like something super, super soft, especially for like quarterbacks, because they got these hard. You don't think it would make a difference?
No, because what the helmet is actually doing is only protecting against blunt force to the head. Because what happens in a concussion, it doesn't matter how you shield the head. The concussion is caused by the brain moving back and forth inside your skull and slamming up against the inside of your skull. So it doesn't matter what you put around that mechanism is still going to happen, even with whiplash, without even being hit. It's potential that it could happen.
I think if they were like really cushiony, and say when a player hit the ground, so to give the NASCAR analogy, they got those softer barriers, kind of like a softer barrier for your head.
Well, you're right in the respect that maybe because of the softness would slow the velocity, the inertia. I get that, but you would have to make that so thick that you're talking about, like, aesthetically, it's not even going to be, it'd be laughable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they moved to those during the practice, and I'm kind of thinking,
but half of the scientific community laughs their ass off at that.
Wait, are they laughing because they don't think it works, or are they laughing because it looks funny?
They understand that the concussion is caused by the brain moving back and forth in the skull. This is why you see some players get pulled out that are showing signs that never even got hit in the head. It's because of the whiplash can cause it.
Now, I thought they were saying that there was, and now I'm just going to start pulling stats here, but I thought they were saying that during the preseason, the concussions during practice were down, and they were attributing to these helmets. Did you not hear something similar?
Well, they can attribute it to whatever they want, but we all know that they also lighten the hitting load in practice, to where they're hardly even allowed to hit each other.
Yeah,
you know.
See, I would just wish there was a better solution here. You know, if we're going to have to worry about head trauma and losing players for multiple weeks, you know, it would be nice if we just had a different solution. And those helmets, although they've retrofitted them, I mean, those are about the same helmets since they were using leather.
Well, somebody had pointed out in chat that the ground also needs to be softer. Well, you know, Ali's been working on it for a segment he wants to do, looking into that stuff, because there is a thought that, you know, this turf they use now, where it's like you're getting all these concussions from guys that are just hitting their head on the ground. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, how much of that is happening on natural grass as opposed to this turf? You know what I mean? There is something different about the new helmets. They are heavier than they have been in recent years, which could also exacerbate whiplash, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. So he's looking into it right now. He's kind of doing some research to really bring it to, you know, on a good segment on his show. But he is looking into that.
No, that's a good point too, because the surfaces are pretty hard. I mean, they've gotten better, but
look at the increase in concussions ever since the league started going to more of these stadiums having this artificial turf. And it's not even like artificial turf used to be. It's like artificial grass. And embedded in that grass is these little rubber pellets, you know, that's supposed to be like the dirt, but it also acts as a cushion. Well, has anybody done the measure? You know how you have to turn in a hard hat every 2 or 3 years, because even though it doesn't look like it's changed at all, it's got a duty rating
that's right.
It only lasts a certain. Has anybody looked into whether they have to replace all these pellets? Have these pellets lost some of their cushiony effect? You know what I mean? After sitting out in the sun in some of these open air stadiums, you know what I mean? There's all kinds of things we can look at. You know, what's causing that ground to be harder than they expected it to be, you know? Because we weren't seeing that when they first started out with this type of turf. It's only after a couple of years have gone by now. You know, in my estimate, this is all conjecture on my part. I'm just saying, you know, there's something to be looked into there, in my opinion.
Well, if the NFL is going to be losing players to this, I mean, potentially franchise quarterbacks, then, you know, we need to be doing everything we can to protect the field and also protect the fan, because at the end of the day, Tua deserves his shot, and we deserve to see it out, because we've been standing behind this guy. We've been rooting for the Dolphins week in, week out, and
otherwise they need to start an insurance policy and pay off these players' salaries. You know, if they're forcing them out like that, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like everybody can know. You find out you got a $1 zillion player and he's more prone to concussions. Okay, you find that out after a couple years, whatever. Where's the mechanism to say, the NFL to say, we need this guy to retire? Here's your compensation team that got screwed, because nobody would have saw that coming. You know what I mean?
Well, that's an interesting one. Can't disagree,
though.
Yeah, because
what that'll do is that maybe that will make it easier. Maybe that'll stop compelling these players to keep going so much. You know, I don't want to be that guy that robbed that team for $90 million because all of a sudden I started getting a lot of concussions. You know what I mean? Some people don't care, but some people do have honor, you know?
Well, and we also don't want to be the fan base rooting for someone that's going to have seriously, if let's put Tua in the picture. If Tua gets another head injury this year, and let's say he does have some long-term effects, I don't want to be sitting there rooting for that either. I know it's all of his choice. It certainly is. But as a fan, I don't like it. It bothers me a little bit.
I will say that even the concussion doctors that I've watched, even the ones that say he needs, rest, or even ones that say that he had to or whatever, they also are saying, though, given the proper amount of healing time, you can get back to a point where you've never had one before. It's just that when you don't rest the person long enough for that healing to take place, getting another one before that healing is done, like, decreases your energy levels in your brain to the point where now it compounds the amount of time you have to rest for that healing to happen.
CT,
and then it gets beyond the point of any return where you can't get back to where you never had a concussion before.
Culler, I watched that same video. I know I was just about to say the guy that was talking about the brain energy. Yeah, and he's an actual sports medicine doctor who specializes in concussions.
And he says there's no way, there's no scan or anything to tell you whether that damage was done. The only thing they go by is their visual clues.
Yeah.
So in other words, the stuff that he saw as a doctor, just being able to see it from the TV, which he admits is limited information.
Mm-hmm.
He himself believes there had to be that damage done, which he believes takes at least 3 weeks to heal. And if you do that healing, you can get back to a point as if you've never suffered a concussion before.
I appreciate you bringing that point up too, because I've seen it so much lately within the community. And, every time there's a panel, you see people in the chat or people on Twitter, it's always brought up. And there's this misconstrued idea that like concussions stack and
they do. And that's why it was such a crucial, but that's why it was such a crucial question as to whether he was concussed against Buffalo.
Right. But some people they were bringing up like concussions in college. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah. The stuff in college don't matter. That don't make him more prone.
Yeah.
However, concussions, I believe, are much like being, getting drunk on alcohol. There are people that can take a lot and there's people that can only take a drop and die. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So there are people that are more susceptible to a concussion than others, but that doesn't mean he's to a susceptibility point that he can't play football.
I haven't heard that was really confirmed ever of like failing protocol or anything along those lines. So, I mean, what if this guy's just got an amazing brain? Like, okay, or maybe it's undetectable in certain ways. I just don't know. But it seems pretty incredible that after what we've seen,
maybe he gets him easy, but heals from him quick.
Yeah.
Maybe that 3 weeks is just a suggestion by this doctor. That doesn't mean that somebody can't be healed in 7 days or 2 months. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm starting to think.
He's just pointing out if it happens before that damage is healed, that's when you have now a 2-month recovery time. You know what I mean? To get back to that initial never had a concussion state.
Yeah, and Tua's seen a lot of specialists. I don't know. He went to a couple of different cities. I mean, he's seen a ton of doctors. The fact that he's back on the field, it sounds like he's wanting to play not this Sunday, but next Sunday. I'm just starting to think that these doctors are going, okay, this guy's clear, or Tua's just blatantly defying medical advice, which I couldn't see.
Remember though, there is a level of risk that Tua is willing to take for himself. So what happens is, what people have to realize is you can be coherent enough within minutes after the concussion to be good enough to go and do your job in the football game. That's what people don't understand. Tua was ready to play again the next day. As far as, can I accurately hit targets? Can I do my job? You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with his head. What you're not ready for is to take another hit to it. And there's a difference there. Now, as time goes by, you may say, okay, well, it takes 3 weeks for that damage to heal, for him to be ready to take a hit in the head again.
Which he
he's
will.
He's already passing tests that say he's coherent enough to go in the game. So as that time goes by, his personal risk level gets lower because right after the concussion, obviously you don't want to get hit in the head again. But if he's still coherent enough to play, and you might be 5 days away from the proper time to be healed, and now he's still taking risk, but was it as much risk as it was 2 weeks ago? You know what I mean? And so he's judging that for himself. Maybe I do probably need a week or two more, but I'm at the point where I'm coherent enough to go in, and I'm healed enough in my own mind to take that risk. Like he already believes he's there himself. Then that's a decision he's got to make. If his doctors are clearing him on coherency, then let him play. That's his decision.
Being cleared one's thing, but what do you think when this guy gets back on the field? Do you see defenders? I mean, does he have a target on his back right now, or are they going to treat him with baby gloves? You know what I mean?
I think he's had a target on him. I don't want to blame it on anybody, but come on. This is why I have such a problem with sycophants embarrassing themselves, because you don't think the rest of the league sees them propping this guy up before he's earned anything.
It's some absurdity at times. You're right.
You know, I mean, he has a target on the back of his head as long as Tyreek is out there telling people, I'll put up numbers even with you. You know, I mean, it is what it is. Everybody, there's plenty of people out there that want to prove he is fragile.
I mean, they might just want to hurt this guy,
but it is what it is, you know.
I mean, are we looking at some 15-yard penalties for late hits on him just to see if they can knock him out if he's tearing us up or if he's tearing the other team up? You know, I mean, I think so. I'm actually.
The thing of it is though, we're wanting to do the same thing to Kirk Cousins tomorrow. Even though nobody had verbalized it, you know what I mean?
But I'm not worried about him, honestly. Like, I feel like he's going to get up. He always does. Most of the time. You're right, though. Yeah, that's no joke. I really hope we just power drive him into the ground. You know, he's limping when he gets up. He's fine, but, you know, he can't continue to play, and we win the game, you know. And then Kirk Cousins is perfectly fine after the game. That's my hope. Yeah, let's go Dolphins. You're right, Culler.
I don't wish injury on nobody.
No.
I just wish a good hard sack.
Yeah, and then it's okay that you're a little dazed when you get up, and maybe you need to sit on the sideline until we win the game, and then you could be, you know, just fine after. That's where I'm at.
Or how about one of these fake concussions that the NFL's throwing down on people right now? That would be timely too. I don't even know who their backup is.
Well, the fake concussion, I mean, the only one that I saw was on us.
Right.
You know, it was too good. It was almost conspiracy style. You know, like, what the heck just happened on the first play of the game?
It has got to finally be our week where we get favored by the NFL when it comes to the refs. You know what I mean? It has to be our turn finally.
We deserve it, especially after that Jets. I mean, they gave us some pass interference calls that I thought were sometimes jump ball, borderline. We got the call, but everything else went against us. Everything. I think we tapped. What did we do? We tapped their quarterback on the helmet once. It like barely touched them, and they're like 15 yards. And what did they do? They power drive Teddy into the ground, and they're like, he's out, no penalty, safety. You know what? Come on, man. Come on, refs.
It's just terrible. It is. They try to make it up, but it's like, nope, you know, don't even try NFL. You know what's going on. We're just one of those teams. Now, we're fans of the team, so we think it's only us, but there are about 5 teams in the NFL that the NFL does this to constantly. You know, it's not just us, but we just only see it with our team. There's a couple other teams. They get the raw deal too.
Well, that's actually part of the shame of the NFL is some of these games are determined by the refs and not the players on the field. I mean, it's a necessary.
Whenever they can, and that's my point, is whenever they can, they will. And that's why you just got to take it out of their hands and blow the other team out.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean,
it is what it is.
Pass interference calls on 3rd and 20, you know, it's like at a certain point, we got to say, hey, look, any pass interference call on 3rd and 20 is like a 5-yard penalty. 3rd and 15, Rigo. You know, I don't like that. That is baloney. It's so hard to get 10 yards, you know, and then let alone a PI just gives up 50.
Well, they can do it. They can just do what college does and make everything a 15-yarder with an automatic first down instead of spot fouls. You know what I mean? But it's professional sports. You know, if you can't handle the spot foul, don't pass interfere. You know what I mean?
I just don't like how. I mean, it truly is a moot point, but the referees really do have an influence, and sometimes they have bad days, and
but at the same time, again, with the point of it being professional sports, if your coach is smart enough to coach around that, as that is part of the game, then you can win 6 championships. You know, I mean. If you're prepared for that as a coach, is that being a reality instead of just dancing around it and acting like it ain't real? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to throw accusations at Belichick, but his level of preparedness might go above and beyond every other coach. You know, so I don't know what he was up to with those.
It couldn't have anything to do with Goodell being part of the Greenwich clique, could it? You know, which he is, and so is Stephen Ross, by the way.
He definitely is. Definitely.
It makes me sick, man. It makes me absolutely sick. Anyway,
I try not to get on that side.
We'll save that for another night, man. But John, I appreciate you coming up. You got any other thoughts? You got a score prediction, man? What, you know,
I don't want to throw a score prediction out there, but I think when it comes push to shove, I think our defense stands up, and I think Skylar makes a couple plays and wows us. I really think he will. And he's going straight to the bench after this game. That's fine. But this guy comes out and wows us. I've got a lot of hope. I got a lot of hope for the future. Thanks, Culler, man.
Absolutely. Hey, I'll drop you in back if you want to hang and chop it up with the other guys, man.
Sweet, man. Take care.
All right, man. All right, DT, man. How are we going to win this game tomorrow?
I think it's going to be 7-7, and we're going to go into overtime. And we're going to end with a tie.
Wow. I hate ties, bro. You just ruined my night.
No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I really hate ties. Like I'm one of those guys that like no ties for me, please. I'd rather have a loss than a tie.
Yeah, same here. I honestly, so I agree a lot with what, you and CT said, but what I was trying to say before my phone died earlier is like, on the whole thing, just to end that argument.
Yeah, you were cooking pretty good when you got cut off, man. I was like, damn, I wanted to hear him finish.
I know, because here's the thing is, like me and you talked about, and I like I said earlier, both things can be true at the same time. And to that point is like I used to shit on Pete's takes all the time. You can ask Pete will tell y'all. I mean, and I was on him on Twitter, on him in the chats, but. Because I was a Tua guy, but all this like got me thinking at the same time is I think where the problem is I think you touched on this is people get too emotionally involved and like I get it, but they have like the sympathy
with good reason. I mean, we are fanatics. I get it. You know what I mean? But
yeah, but you got to be a team fan first, man. I'm a Miami Dolphins fan, and like you said, man, whoever's got the hot hands, that's who I want in. Whoever's going to give us the best possible chance to win, that's who I want playing. You know what I mean? And I was just saying, just to end it is Pete made a good point. And I think, you and I both saw when he tweeted it out. I think we both responded to that the same. It's like, yeah, it made me think, like, wow, yeah, I don't think you could really ignore that. And I'm going to say a big if, but if Skylar had a performance to the degree that he's talking about, I mean, some, 5-6 touchdowns and 400, 500 yards, of course we can't ignore that. Now, do I think that they're ready to bench Tua over that? No. I do say, shit, even if he doesn't have to the degree that Pete said, but if we win tomorrow, bro, and he has a really good game, I say play him at the Steelers game and see if he can have some type of consistency. See if he can do it twice.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
mean, aren't you just giving more time for Tua to really get right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So it could possibly be a win-win, and that's the
You
thing.
could avoid the Flores drama.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
I mean, has anybody thought that might be a distraction to Tua?
I was thinking about that today too, because there's another I can't remember, another one of the Dolphins channels, but they were discussing that it was a 4-panel, it's just them 4, and they were discussing that same thing, and it had me thinking, like, how do we know that, we all see, a lot of us see it as a revenge game, and we're hyping up the Steelers game. Tua may not feel that way, right? That may be a big distraction to him. He may not be looking at it like that.
Right. Not only that, but ultimately, if things didn't work out, we all believe when it comes to personal things not working out, that it's more likely it took 2 to tango. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I get it that people hate me for saying that, but I don't care because that's just the way life is, and you're not going to convince this old wise man otherwise. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so I think Tua, being the type of person that he is, who is of strong character, probably hasn't even given Flores one thought since he left.
Exactly. I don't think he had, that's the thing. I don't think
there's a grudge. I don't think that, because I'm sure Tua knows for himself what part he had in it.
Yeah, of course.
Despite what we all can argue about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. And that's the thing is people might think that like, oh, Flores treated him like shit. Me personally, I think Flores did a lot of good for this team, no matter how somebody else feels about him or how
believe it or not, I can see Flores in Tua right now. Believe it or not.
See, I didn't even think about that. Remember how like Tua is not the same reserved. I'm not going to say shy, but he's not the same reserved, quiet Tua that we saw when he first came to the team, right? And
maybe it took a fellow player talking to him the way Flores did for him to get it, because I'm sure Tyreek came in with the bravado of a Brian Flores. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Tua probably realized, I guess this is the way it is. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And my peers are showing me not my father figure. My peers are showing me that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I want to see him succeed too. And like, again, to my point, I'm not saying, hey, yeah, if Skylar has a great game, he can be the quarterback. Dude, I don't care either way, as long as we're winning and what's going to give us the best shot. But that also does not mean that I wish ill will to Tua. But right. I just, at this point, he's like we said, bro, he is irrelevant to me unless he is on the damn field. And if that,
and the reality of our best case scenario is that, first of all, we win the game.
Yeah.
Second of all, Skylar has a great performance, but not to the level that Pete was talking about.
Yeah, I think that's
because then we can comfortably go back to Tua, and yet know in the back of our minds that we got this guy that after
we got a guy
gave a 3 or 4 touchdown, 350-yard performance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. But that, and that's a good feeling to know we got another guy.
And it probably would make Tua even, as far as like, oh, I don't necessarily have to. He can relax even more.
Yep.
Because look, this guy's good and they still put me back in. So what's that make me?
Yeah, great. Yeah.
And that could go a long way for a guy's confidence. If you go out there and you purposely try, let's say the negative conspiracy now, coach goes out there and sabotages Skylar because everybody's afraid of him upstaging Tua, whatever. There's some that believe that. I'm not saying I'm one of them. I'm just saying some believe that. Okay. If that's the case,
so crazy though.
It is. But if that's the case, yeah, but they believed it about Flores. So what's the difference? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But being that, what I'm saying is, though, if that's the case, then that doesn't do anything for Tua.
No,
that just lies to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Iron sharpens iron. You know what I mean? Like, let Skylar get out there and show his stuff, man.
Exactly. And that's how it should be. Iron sharpens iron, right? Bro,
Yeah, first of all, I don't want that to be construed that I thought that was what was going on or anything. I'm just putting it out there because I'm sure there's people out there that do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I completely I hear you. And I think
I
that
just spent all off season arguing with people that claim Flores sabotaged to us. So, to think that another coach couldn't do it, I don't know why. Like all of it, like how do we know Mike McDaniel that well? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no shit, especially now with what's going on.
Like he could be all lying to our face. He could be Jack the Ripper for all we know.
Yeah, and what the old time said, time will tell, and that's all I can say is time will tell. It's not like we're about to enter the postseason. I mean, time will tell. We're still early in the season. We got a lot of games. Me personally, with the Vikings game, I think would probably be closer to something like 27-30. I'm gonna go with the Fins on this one. I just think I'll tell you why. And don't get it twisted. I am one of those pansies who think like every game's a give me game and Fins up, dude. We're getting a dub.
Right.
No, I'm a fucking realist. I love the Fins, but I don't think Minnesota is the best team out there, but I also don't think it's a give me game. I think they're going to play it tough. I just think that it's going to be closer to like 27-30, but I think that the Dolphins pull it off because I think they're going to walk into this game with a real sour taste in their mouth. And real sour taste in your mouth, that's all the fire they need under their ass. A lot of people can take that, and that's enough fuel to push you over the edge.
Right. And to be honest with you, I think they actually remind me a lot of the Patriots. I think that we'll be in command the whole game, but it won't be it still will be in question towards the end. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Sort of like it played out with the Patriots. Like, man, we really need more offensive production. This ain't enough, but we still held them to 7, and ultimately we led the whole ball game and commanded the whole game, even though it was lackluster. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I think this game is. And it's funny because I hear the same shit about the Steelers game coming up. People are still the same way, and there's some people out there they're talking about it like it's another give me game. The same thing they're saying about Minnesota. Same thing I heard about the Jets. Like, bro, all these games, I don't give a shit if it's a 1-win team. I'm gonna go in there and treat it like they're the last year's Super Bowl champs. I want them to play
exactly because that's how they're thinking of themselves.
Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't you agree though? Like, I want them. Don't take your fucking foot off the pedal. Play with the consistent, aggressiveness the entire time, and I think we'll be all right. I just think this game in particular, I want them to play with that aggression because I want them to have that sour taste in their mouth. Don't be a bitch and take it on the chin. This is your game to respond, not just for Coach McDaniels, but for this team.
Exactly. I'm actually trying to stall a little because Miss Fins asked for the link, and I posted it, but she hadn't come in yet. So I want to give a couple more seconds for her a chance to come in. She maybe she got disconnected or something, but there she is. Look at that. So DTA, you got us at 30-27. I actually got us at 27-23. Very similar outcome for the same reasons, and Capitan had us at 27, or I'm sorry, he had us at 28. I had us 28-23. He had us 28-24.
Very similar. I think we're all thinking on the same mind track
right
here.
On. So yeah, man, you're welcome to hang out and back, bro. Appreciate you coming up. I'm gonna pull Miss Fins up here and give her a chance to speak, and I'll catch you, man.
All right, brother.
All right, bro. Thanks.
Thanks, Culler. Yep.
Miss Fins.
Culler, how you doing, sir?
Pretty good. How you doing? Glad you could stop by.
I know, super last minute, but save the best for last. Listen, I've had such a fun day today. Such a fun day.
Are you down south already, or you?
No. I live here, but I got the chance to be with the fan club weekend for a few hours. It was pretty nice seeing so many people over there. Man, What an event. If you didn't make it out this year, make it out next year because what a special event. So much fun. So many people. You know what I mean? So many people out there that it's too much. It's too much. It's so much fun. And it's a great experience as a Dolphins fan to be among other Dolphins fans, you know what I mean? But it was just so much fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
everybody is so much more gracious in person. You know what I mean?
oh, absolutely, absolutely. There were some Viking fans, you know. We still kept,
Uh-oh.
we still kept it, you know, cordial. Boo the man, boo the man. You know,
So what
those Andrevius.
so what time you usually show up in the morning?
For what, the game?
Yeah, like right before, or are you mingling around the tailgates?
No, I'm going to the tailgates. I typically make it to the tailgates, not like right away, because you know what, I'm trying to like sleep in people, but I'm still gonna make it. You know, I'll be at East 12. I'll be at East 22, East 32. So I'll be seeing everybody.
Right on.
But
Well,
yes, if you are going to the game, come check out Miss Fans. It's going to be a lot of fun. You guys should definitely come check it out. You know, I'd love to take pictures with all the fans. It was really nice meeting some fans from the UK and some fans from, man, so many other places
and
throughout the country.
you remember where Ali and I were parked last game, right?
Yes, sir.
We'll likely be in that same spot.
So you are coming then?
Oh yeah, yeah. I
That's what I'm
forgot to
saying.
tell
Hey,
you.
last
Yeah,
time
I
you and
got
I
my
spoke,
ticket.
you told me, yeah, you told me like, no, I don't got a ticket. I don't gotta wait it. So
Yeah, I picked one
it's
up
confirmed.
Thursday.
Perfect. Love it, love it, love it.
Yep. So
Very,
I'll be
very
meeting
happy.
Ali at like 7:15 or so at our meeting spot up here, and
Okay.
we should be down there about 9 o'clock or so, probably a little
Yeah, I'm
earlier than
thinking
that.
today I'll probably try to get there by like 9:30.
Right on. Right on.
Just so I can spend the most time, you know, with you guys. But it's gonna be a lot of fun. That's all I know. What do I want to say? As far as the Dolphins game, look, my super fan in me is we're gonna go 45 30, 42-35
My
Dolphins.
super homer is 38
That's
to 17. That's like my standard super homer take is 38 to 17.
that's my super homer. But if we're being honest, like, because I was thinking, I'm like, maybe I should like give them the truth. This is a great team we're gonna go against. You know what I mean? This is a consistently great
Did you
team
not
with great
watch my
pieces.
show? Did you not watch my show
Dude,
tonight?
I just got home. I have literally been out since like noon this morning. I just made it to my house and I
Well, I
saw you were
literally
on.
make the direct case against what you just said in my monologue, so you should enjoy it.
I'm gonna watch it. Don't worry, I'm gonna watch it. But I'll tell you this: it's still a tough team. It's gonna be a tough win. I do like that finally Skylar got the whole week with the ones. Prep him, get him his due, you know. And I think that we're gonna see something special from him. And you know what? Even if he throws up a duck, I won't be mad. You're a rookie. It's your second, it's your technically first start. You know what I mean?
Well, I won't be mad, but I'll be disappointed
I'll be
because
disappointed, of course.
because what we've seen from him just wouldn't suggest that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But I feel like with his stature, with his experience, I mean, playing 5 years in college solid, I think he's got a good head on his shoulder, and I think that he's gonna be able to really make this his offense, for this game.
Yep. Yep.
And like I was just listening to you now, if he does, ball out and gives us a spectacular performance, if Tua really doesn't feel comfortable and he wants to wait an extra week, I'm okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
We got Teddy. He'll be clear for next week too.
And you know what?
You know what I mean? So,
as a message to Tua, I'll go to bat for you on that decision.
Yeah, if it's
in other words, I'll tell people pump the brakes just because Skylar's playing another game don't mean nothing. You know
it
what I
means
mean?
absolutely. Skylar's for next year. People, relax. He ain't taking he's not taking Tua's position or nothing. Tua is QB1, period, for the year 2022-2023.
Well, yeah, I think
he
he's
is
earned the status to go all 17, all 17 given
absolutely
him being able to,
Let me put it to you
injury-wise.
this way, and you know how I was. You and I were talking in the off season, how I was like, look, if Tua's out for multiple games, I'm done with him. based on what I've seen so far, I've actually changed my stand. I'm willing to give him this entire year, even him missing a couple games, and even next year too, while we're prepping Skylar. If I'm gonna be honest with you, you know what I mean. So I'm okay because he'll still be cheap. Tua will still be cheap. You know, we can see if he can be consistent between year, 3 and 4, and then kind of go from there. At this point, I'm tired of the every 3 years rebuilding. You know what? I give the kid a chance. I think Tua definitely has the opportunity to do it, but he's got to make it. You know, he's got to do it himself. And as far as Skylar, I'm excited for the future. I told you, he's my Matt Moore 2.0 minimum. That's my floor for him. The best backup QB we're gonna have for the next 10 years minimum. Now it's up to him if he wants to be the starter. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna crown him that, but I think he has the skills to definitely be a phenomenal backup QB for
Right.
us.
Absolutely.
And then eventually if he starts, then hey, I'm okay with that too. But this game, it's gonna be tough. They have some weapons. They're a lot healthier than we are. Those are not excuses. Those are actual facts. um, so I could totally see us losing this game, and it would be a bummer. But I could totally see us winning this game
Oh,
too.
it would be a bummer.
I mean, I could see us really winning this game. And at the end of the day, in the infamous words of Toretto, don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile, winning is winning. I don't care if we win by 1 point or 45. Winning is winning, and I'll take it. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. I just want to win at this point. If we start
That's why you're the
Skyler,
best.
yeah. If we start Skyler and by halftime he's like ducking it out, get in, Teddy, and bring it home. You know what I mean? At this point, I don't care. I just want to win. I'm a Dolphins fan.
For more of that those great takes, you can find Miss Fins every morning at 8:00, Monday through Friday. Tell us where they can find you, Miss Fins.
Colin, thank you. Yes, you can find Miss Vince Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern, and where we discuss all Dolphins, and we actually do discuss the NFL too, AFC East, because that's the path to the playoffs for us. And on Wednesday nights, myself and my co-host, Mr. Caller Com, we have our Let's Talk Football League-wide Wednesdays, where we discuss the entire league, the upcoming games and the previous games, and our impactful players per position. So it's a lot of fun, guys. And if you guys haven't had the chance, go ahead and check it out. Look, I'm trying to give away free game tickets. I already made it my mission. If we get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the season, I'm giving away free game tickets. So let's get Miss Fins to 1,000 subscribers. I'm already so close to 600. So let's make it happen. I think I'm like 4 people away from 600 subscribers. You know what I mean? Literally,
And
just check this out.
and look, guys, you want to just put somebody in your ear talking about Dolphins football in the morning. She's got a really nice structured show, not no drama and none of that. Nice PG rated show. And, you can just hear good talk about our team. If you're not a Jaceki fan, she won't bite your head off too much, but.
You don't gotta be a Gesicki fan. Gesicki's all mine. Everybody knows it. But
that being said, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you're liking and sharing Miss Fins, subscribing to her, as well as the Fins Tailgate.
Yes,
like and share, subscribe, everybody. There's several ways you can help the channel. Cash App, Venmo, the Fins Tailgate, super chats, super stickers, and memberships. But even just using the link for Fanatics in the description below would be all the support in the world, because we know you buy all of your stuff from the officially licensed gear provider of the NFL and NBA, NHL, and NCAA, as well as all other sports. Make sure you're also checking out Backroom Collections for all of the high-end custom memorabilia. Hashtag TFTG at checkout for 10% off. And make sure you're checking out all our gear too, including the flag. I'm kind of partial to the tumbler myself, but also look at this, Miss Fins. Look at these coffee mugs over here.
I'm loving the mugs, man.
Can you imagine me drinking out of a coffee mug with my own logo on it? Like, I could never That would humble the hell out of me. I don't even know. I haven't even wanted to buy one yet because I'm like, how could I be drinking out of a mug with my own logo on it?
I know, it's surreal, isn't it? Like I
Mhm.
can't even wait. I'm printing out the Misfits merch, and I'm like, oh, to wear my own logo. That's gonna be so awesome.
I know. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Now we just need. No, I'm not going to go there. But check out these leggings too. These leggings are pretty cool. I was going to show the bikinis, but
Show the bikinis. I
well,
love
I
bikinis.
was gonna make a classless joke, so you know what I mean. But
It's okay.
I was
We're on
just thinking of
TFTG.
how of great places to put the color commentary logo in this world. You know what I mean?
The stamp. Let's just call it that.
But also, you can catch us on Tuesday nights with Tonk 7 and TMI. He will be back. We're definitely making sure he gets back and ready to go. When not, we will try to get on and fill in that night for him with something. You got me when I'm not in excruciating pain for Thursday nights after football. If not, I can do it afternoons sometimes. You also got coffee and a cup of color. Trying to go for Saturday mornings still. Usually it'll be the afternoon. But as today, I had to fill in for Ali tonight for Late Night Exhale, which you can also catch every Saturday night at 10 o'clock. Unless it's home week, he usually goes at 9:30 because of the game, which it's like 20 after 1 now. I was supposed to shut down at like 11:30, Miss Fins.
Sorry, man.
No, not your fault. It just is what it is. You know me, I'm a talker. I just can't shut up, the wee hours of the night. When we shut down the show, I'm going to fire up some video about quantum mechanics and think it's going to put me to sleep, but yet I'll be up the rest of the night watching it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally get it.
Pondering the nature of reality, so anyway.
But wait, before you close out, guys, I need you guys to do me a favor. They just got to 4,000. If you haven't subscribed to TFTG, the Fins Tailgate, these guys are putting in work each and every day, multiple times a day sometimes. Go ahead and check them out. I mean, Ali, Culler, Tonk, El Capitan, Chris,
HB in the back.
HB in the back, exactly. It's too many. You know what I mean? They're giving you so much content for you guys. Please, please, please like, share, subscribe, follow on all social media. They got the YouTubes, they got the Twitter, Twitch, they got all of it. So subscribe. Okay.
Yep. And if you want to hit up HP kind of follow him and what he's doing with his own channel, he can be found at Zippa Media, ZIPPA Media. Some of probably have seen Zippa in the chat. That's his YouTube channel. That's where you can find he actually does some tutorials here and there and kind of shows you the stuff that he does for all the TFTG graphics. And so you can catch him and interact with him over on his channel, Zippa Media. Does great work. All of the graphics you see are done by him. I'm not that good, but other than, I do get credit for this meme,
I want to see if it's gonna make me throw up.
but that's just a meme. That's not like real graphic art. You know what I mean? Oh, by the way, yeah, this one too.
Fins Tailgate.
That's me. That's all me. That was all me.
Fins Tailgate.
You're gonna have to show me how to do that.
It's just clipping and cutting and then once you make the little, you got your clip, you just upload it into the StreamYard list of videos. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll talk about it offline. But guys, check out
we're getting into the
TFTG,
week.
man.
Oh,
all
I
the
forgot.
time.
I forgot one more thing. Even though he's probably sleeping right now, don't forget Capitan every other night of the week with the Fins Tailgate, the actual Fins Tailgate. And I think I got it all in. Is that everybody? Can you
Did you get the flag? Did you get the flag?
Yeah, I got I did. I don't know. I didn't
Give me the
show
flag
it,
again. There you
there's
go.
the flag.
Look at that beautiful flag, man. I'm kind of jelly. Such a great flag. I'm really jelly about this flag, man. I love it.
It is pretty nice.
It's a nice
I don't
flag.
even have one yet, but Ali already got 2.
Jeez, he need to bring it in then. He needs to bring it tomorrow.
Well, he did. We flew it last home game. We actually hung it from the
What
from the
up,
tent.
EM? EM in the building. How you
What's
doing,
EM?
EM? What's up,
Like
G?
EM, EM like wakes up at these weird hours of the night when we're on and like pops in and he's like, "Hey guys, how's it
Because
going?"
EM is a true OG, guys. He is literally one of the godfathers when it comes to the Dolphins community, especially on YouTube, and one of the most respected guys out there, in my opinion. Your knowledge is
Yeah.
amazing. So,
Yeah,
and
he's a
he's
good
always
dude.
supporting everybody, and that's what I love.
We
That's
need
what
to
I
get
love.
him to a game, man. Get off that couch in Texas and get down to a game, man.
Yes, I agree.
But,
Yeah, you gotta come to a game, man, for real.
so Miss Fins, once again, I'm gonna just end the show with you up here. So, oh, by the way, as Miss Fins was saying, besides the great content we have here at TFTG, I have been freelancing with her as a co-host on her Wednesday night show, 8 o'clock, right, or 8:30?
8 o'clock. 8
8
o'clock,
o'clock,
8 p.m. Let's
and
talk
it's
football, League-wide
yep, it's
Wednesdays.
league-wide football talk. We run through all our picks for all the games. We also will tell you, who we think the impact players of the week at each position is going to be for, across the whole league. And we've been doing pretty good. We didn't do a whole proper show last week, so I didn't get to find out what my record was.
Yeah,
from
we're
last
gonna
week.
go over this upcoming
So, yeah,
week.
we'll
We'll
catch
do both weeks. Yeah.
Yep, we'll catch that up. But we've been doing fairly good. We had one down week, but
God,
came
we
out of
both
the
went
gate
5 and
strong.
5
Yeah,
and
we
11, bro. That
we
was
came
so
out of the
bad.
gate strong and then went 5 and 11. So yeah,
That was
but
funny.
week 2 is always a weird week in the NFL.
That is true. Guys, thank you so
But-
much for joining again. This is Miss Fizz. This is Color Commentary on the Fin's Tailgate Network, YouTube, whatever. You know
Yep.
what it is.
And you all have a wonderful evening. We'll see
Fins
you all
up.
tomorrow. Capitan's going to do a pregame more than likely, and we'll probably chime in from the stadium, from the tailgate. So everybody, fins up. Have a
Fins
great
up.
night. Thank you, Miss Fins, and appreciate you doing my outro for me.
Thank you, sir.